Why is everyone so interested in this fifth rounder? Everybody's talking about Shedeur. Well, we got Fox and we got ESPN, and we're going to do a live reaction. You and me, yes, we're going to do a live reaction to whatever they're saying. Before we do that, however, please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. All right, family, I got to go ahead and get into this video real quick. So that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. Let's get right to work. Guys, what's going on? My name is Harry B. The B means billion. And welcome to TLP Sports Club. Guys, thank you so much for joining me in this live event. Live are a little different from the video that I dropped today. Go watch that video. I feel like you can get something out of it. It's more so leaning to Shedeur's faith and Coach Prom's faith. But I think everybody can get something out of it, something that you can apply to your own life. So go watch that video that I dropped today. But this here live, guys, we're going to be doing a live reaction to what Fox Sports Radio guys are saying. I guess nowadays, you know what I'm saying? If you have a radio face, it's being shown on YouTube. So we got a video. We're going to react to that. Before we react to that video, though, while I was preparing for the show, I saw another video where ESPN, those guys, Stephen A. Smith and his panel, were talking about Shedeur. And something they said, I was like, you know what? I should react to that as well. But the show is mainly going to be a reaction to the Fox Sports Radio and what they're saying. Let's go over to Fox first. No, let's go over to ESPN first, and then we will react to the Fox Sports Radio guys and what they are saying. If you are interested in coming on this panel and voicing your opinion, guys, right there on your screen, you will see join TLP Live at gmail.com. Again, join TLP Live at gmail.com is the email where you're going to call in. I'm going to send you a link. You click on that link, you come onto the show. Don't be afraid of me using your email for any nefarious reasons or anything like that. It's all good. A lot of people have come onto this show. You can ask them yourself. I don't know if a bot may send them some weird message or something. It ain't coming from me. I don't use your email for anything other than just that. Now, it's a little secret, though. Maybe one day when the show gets big and people are like, yo, Harry B, yo, why you can't help? Come on, Harry B, give me a, say, once you get big, then that email gets flooded. I may use that email to send my regulars, my regular folks. I may use that email to send them some information and say, hey man, we're over here, we're meeting over here. You know what I'm saying? Just to communicate. But that email is right on your screen, guys. Join TLP Live at gmail.com. That's how you can actually contact me. My email is public. Hit me up and come on the show and voice your opinion. Let's talk about this. Shedeur Sanders was the fifth round draft pick of the Cleveland Browns. I was about to say Cavaliers. As you can tell, my sports are getting all mixed up in my head. So he was the fifth round draft pick. However, he was not a normal fifth round draft pick. Shedeur he's continuing to, I guess, dominate the headlines. And in some other cases, I would say he's continuing to dominate the OTAs and the mini camp. Not expected at all. So everybody continues to talk about it. If you have a segment talking about football, the anticipation that Shedeur has for the NFL this year, I don't know that the NFL has had this type of anticipation pre-Colin Kaepernick. Somebody correct me if you've been anticipating the NFL season like you are now, pre-Colin Kaepernick. All right? Because after Colin Kaepernick, the NFL took a big hit. I don't care what they tell you. I know the numbers. I don't know the numbers because then If you check me and say, Harry B, what are the numbers? and I can't present those numbers to you, now I'm in trouble. So I know that there were reports, okay? There were reports, and I'm not going to go search for them, but there were reports that the NFL was struggling in numbers. Do they ever go down like so low that they start clamoring and stuff like that? Sometimes maybe, but not really, because they are a big conglomerate. They are the behemoth, okay? It's like a whale when you're talking about stocks and stuff. Like, they are a whale, all right? So it's hard to really hurt them, but they have been hurting. So, but since Colin Kaepernick, Shedeur has now created this energy. Shedeur has created something about the NFL that everybody's just anticipating. Everybody's talking about it, okay? If the Fox guys, if you have any type of segments, you got to include Shedeur, because everybody wants to know. That's what's getting all of the views right now. Once the season starts and he starts doing good, it's going to die down. Just like it happened at Colorado. The first season, everything shot all the way up. Second season, everybody's like, we ain't that interested anymore. You know what I'm saying? Even though they were selling out the stadium and they were putting up good numbers, they never peaked top 10. But you know what? Let's go ahead and get into the show. Let me just say hello to whoever's here so far. I see already my guy Ty Smith's in the building. Dallas is in the building. Put some respect on Dallas, Texas. You heard what I'm saying? Okay, I got Aruka girl. Garciano was the first in the chat. So salute to you, Graciano. Sorry, not Garciano, but Graciano. Charge that first pronunciation to my Liberian accent. You feel what I'm saying? We chop up everything. Okay? Harry is Henry. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, Henry, you ball. Henry, man, y'all come here. My name is not Henry. Is there another Henry in the... you boy, you know who I'm talking to, man. Man, come here, man. Come bring that thing for me. I ain't bringing Jack. My name is Harry. Until you call me Harry, yeah, right. If a Liberian person call you, you better go and stop playing, okay? Anyway. All right, Swansley, what up with you? Hope all is well, Swansley. Guys, let's get to the show. Again, hit me up. Let me make sure I got the email skewed up, because I need... I ain't trying to be the only one here, okay? Y'all hit me up. Hey, Ty, hit me up and come on the show. Okay? Chris Dixon, what up with you, Chris? Hope all is well. Thank you for joining the show tonight, guys. I put the air conditioner on because, you know, this is a studio. This is a legit studio. It's a Hollywood studio in New York. Okay? So it gets hot. Now the air conditioner's on and I can barely hear myself. So give me 1 second. Let me turn that air conditioner off because I can barely hear myself. Give me a second. All right, let's go ahead and let's go. Let's get started. Do me a favor, if you are here and you're listening, please hit that like button. Let's get the algorithm to do that shimmy. You feel what I'm saying? If the algorithm get to do that shimmy, it lets other people know that we are live, and you know what I'm saying? It invites other people. All right. I think we're going to start with ESPN. And I don't know if I have to do this, but YouTube, this is a reaction video. Even though it's live, it's reaction. I don't own this footage. ESPN is a big conglomerate. They own this footage. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully you don't get me to take this out of the video, especially if it's, you know, whatever. Let's go. All right, let me share my screen here. I got to take this off the screen. Hit me up, join TRPlive@gmail.com. Let's talk about this. Shadeur's not getting reps. Ooh. Oh, my gosh. Shedeur ain't getting no first-team reps. Oh. It's all good. It's all good. Relax out there, people. Relax out there. It's going to be all good. You feel what I'm saying? All right, let me start. Let me take this, remove this, because every time I have that on, every time I have that on and then I try to share my screen for the first stuff, it always messes me up. All right, so here we go. I have it queued up. Let's get right into it.
Look, they've set themselves up pretty well, I believe, in the present, in the short term, and they also have a safety net, and they have a lot of options in the long term with the number of draft picks they have coming next year, namely the pick that they're going to get from Jacksonville, and it's probably going to be a high pick. So yeah, Cleveland's sitting in a good spot theoretically. As it relates to Shedeur, look, I agree with Stephen A. I agree that they are trying to test him right now, whether that is purposefully or, secondarily, they are testing him right now. They're testing his resilience. They're testing his stick-to-itiveness. They're testing his ability to be intrinsically motivated to continue to stay in the book when I can tell you this, you're sitting over there during mini camps and OTAs right now. You're seeing a guy who was drafted 2 rounds ahead of you take reps with the ones when you're sitting there going, I'm better than that guy. I'm better than Dylan Gabriel, and I'm not getting the reps. They're going to be watching you. Scouts are watching you. The GM's watching you. Owners are watching you. They're seeing your body language. They're seeing how you are when you go in the huddle and you do get a couple reps. They're seeing how you execute, how you get on with the rest of the teammates, how you walk into the locker room, whether you're the guy who's first into your weightlifting session, whether you're a guy who's early into treatment. Are you in the film room watching extra tape? They're evaluating all that right now when he's not the man. He's not being treated as the man. No one cares about which.
Hey, JR Boxing, you got to pull up tonight. I wanna, let's have this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because we haven't had an opportunity to really talk about him not getting reps and whatnot. Yo, pull up JR Boxing and pull up Todd Smith. I think DC might be on in a little bit, so we'll wait for DC to come on. One of my,
you did it, Colorado anymore. They're testing it.
There's one simple salt trick that anyone can use to fight off nerve pain almost overnight. Did you know?
I ain't got no nerve pain. I know that's the algorithm. He's taking I don't know who's been talking about nerve pains around me, okay? YouTube be doing some weird things, okay? You should see when they play the Cialis commercials live, and I'm like, oh, Lord, ED stuff. It ain't me. It ain't me, I promise, okay? Oh, man, I be trying to block those things, but YouTube just like, oh, we get. I'm like, why did they give me this commercial? Oh, they give you this commercial based on your age, based on your geography, based on other things. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you're embarrassing me here. You're embarrassing me. I'm doing this live, okay? Come on now. Now I got nerve pains. Lord have mercy. Oh, the algorithm sucks. Hit that like button, yo. What up? Elijah Watson, what up?
The perfect approach.
The Browns are playing games. Yeah, man. We gonna talk about it. Y'all pull up on me. Let's talk about this. Elijah Wilson, hit me up on the email. Come up and let's talk about that. Join TLPlive@gmail.com. That is the email. I want y'all to pull up tonight. Don't get stuck in the comment section. Pull up on me, guys. I can't be on here forever. When I do these lives, during the weeknights, because I gotta go to work in the morning. I got to keep this real short. That's why I picked 6 something, even though I came on late, and not 7 o'clock. Because my bedtime, I gotta sleep. Okay. All right, so let's keep going. We'll get to this.
He's saying, look, I got to maximize every single thing that I do here. The great Tom Brady used to talk about it the same way when he went to New England as a.
RK's forehead. What? Who's? It's about time you go live, Mr. Missing in Action. Hey, I'm not missing in action. If you are a member of the page, if you frequent this page, I'm either posting in the community section, the post section, I'm posting shorts, right? Because when I can't go live or I can't drop a video, I make sure that I'm visible, all right? The last thing I posted got like 20,000, 15,000, 20, it's going on to 20-some thousand views, so stop playing with me.
5th round pick. I had to maximize everything. And when he does.
Is that RK from DMVR? Or RK? I don't know what that, I don't even want to say that name live.
Earns you more reps. Because in the end, I'll tell you this. As a pure quarterback, of everyone who they have on their roster right now, I do believe that Shedeur is the best player. But he's not going to be able to show that right away. And what Cleveland is saying is, are you willing to play the long game with us and bide your time? Are you still willing to do the right things?
How many of y'all buying that? Is Cleveland playing games? Are they trying to do this thing where they're like, they know who they got in Shedeur, and they're just trying to see if his head is in the right place. Are y'all buying that out there? Is anybody buying this argument that the Cleveland Browns, they're testing Shedeur to see where he's at, where he is mentally? If the things that were said about him pre-draft, if those things are right, and if so, why are they playing with him like that? Do they secretly believe that he's their franchise quarterback and they're just trying to make sure that he's not going nowhere to see where he is? Did not tell them? Do they not watch TLP Sports Club? Did they not tell them you're getting a good young man? The stuff that you hear out there are not, it's just somebody's insecurity that's being offended by his confidence. Have you not heard his dad? Do anybody listen to me? I mean, I got 17,000 subscribers. That's a lot of subscribers. Is anybody hearing me? Let me hit this screen. Is anybody out there? I told these people, the Cleveland Browns organization, they have to be listening to TLP Sports Club because you know Coach Prime be listening to me, and Shedeur, they watch me, okay? A lot of people watch me. Those who know TLP Sports Club, all right? We legit over here. So I know they're watching. So, hey, hello, Cleveland Browns organization, hello. This is a young man that is legitimately what you see is what you get. He is that confident. It's not cockiness that you're seeing. It ain't arrogance. It's just the fact that he believes in himself. I don't want to give away what some of the things that I said in that video that I just dropped because I want some of y'all to go watch it. I need to get the views up. The last time I checked, it was like 700 views. Let's get that to 1,000. Come on, stop playing with me. I work hard here, okay? These lights in this studio are not cheap. They're paid for, though. Let me find out somebody got Bandwagon Browns as their name. How long you had that name? Hey, Bandwagon Browns, how long you had that name? Did you get that from me, or you had that a long time ago and I got it from you through osmosis? Because I literally, like a week, son, I literally been saying Bandwagon Browns for now over a month. And now you're going to take the Bandwagon Browns? Did you hear it in one? I put it in one of the comments. You said you're a CU fan turned. Oh, okay. You got it from me. You had to get it from me because we're Bandwagon Buffs over here. And then as soon as it happened, I said Bandwagon Browns. So you probably got it from me. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not copyrighting that one, so it's all good. We're just gonna use it together, okay? We're just gonna make t-shirts. You make your t-shirts, I make mine. It is what it is. Okay? Copyright is too expensive, okay? So let's just say we're gonna use it together. That's it. I ain't got no time to be dealing with no copyright for everything that I do when it's Bandwagon, okay? But we're gonna credit that to TLP Sports Club, Bandwagon Browns. You heard it here first, I promise you. Hey, but salute to you. Welcome to the chat. All right. So how many of y'all buying this stuff? Is Cleveland playing games? Why Shedeur? Salute. Why Shedeur though? Oh, by the way, if that gets hot, we're sharing it. We're gonna share it. All right, I'm saying that live. Excuse me. So just in case it gets hot and it goes viral, we're gonna share revenue, okay? Together. I'm not just giving it up like that. We're gonna share, okay? Oh man. Yeah, we're gonna split it 50-50. Yes, sir. We're splitting that 50-50 down the line. So you make your t-shirts wherever you are, in whatever city you are. I'll be making mine. We ain't got nothing to do with each other. But if it ever goes global and, we get on ESPN and stuff like, oh, how did you guys become Bandwagon Browns? And that, then we got to be like, oh, gosh, it's money involved now. Let's fight. Let's go to court. No Diddy. Anyways, can you say no Diddy if you said let's go to court? Peter Investor, what up with you? Hope all is well. What you saying, Peter? The Browns are using Shedeur for marketing. Either way, they keep him as QB1 or they trade him if his value increases. Why though? You got Kevin Stefanski, whatever his name is. You got the head coach out there saying, "Oh, people like our game. That's why they're asking a lot of questions." I'm like, either that guy is real tune deaf, and that's why the Browns are so not good. I have no idea how long he's been a head coach over there. All right. Like he's so tune deaf, or the organization is so tune deaf that they don't understand. They don't want to address the elephant in the room. They're hiding, or they're trying to skirt around Shedeur being the behemoth in their organization that everybody's talking about. The headlines, just turn on your YouTube. If you got sports on your algorithm, it'll just come up. Like, it'll just come up. So I'm like, yo, what in the world? Like, bruh, stop playing. Just address it. So this whole thing about they're testing his resolve, they're trying to see if he has stick-to-itness and all of that. Like, enough is enough. He's not getting first-team reps. Now, obviously, I'm okay with that. I'm just trying to let you know. I'm okay with that. When this all started, I told y'all that when you are the fourth string, like the reps don't come around. The NFL has to count the reps. This is just how it works. The NFL has to count the reps. I told you that here on this channel. Like I said, I give you legit information. I reach out to my sources, I read their materials, and I come on here and I try to give you how the stuff is going to work. So you should already be hip to, if you are around here, if you've been around this channel, you should already be hip to how this is going to work. All right? The reps are hard to come by when you are the fourth string. Now, all of you machete Bible-toting aunties, it ain't talking about Shedeur's ability. Nothing about his abilities. We're just talking about the facts about how the NFL works. So, I ain't trying to get chopped up by none of y'all machete queens. None of that. All right, machete queens. That's another one I just dropped. You know what I'm saying? I'll be dropping these gems. Put that on the t-shirt. Machete queens. You feel me? Shedeur aunties, the machete queens. And it got a Bible. Because it's going to chop you up and then pray for you to make sure that you heal correctly. I don't want no problems, no heat with none of them. Machete queens. JR Boxing, welcome to the show, my brother. How you doing tonight? Thank you for calling in. You might have to click on mute.
Harry B, what up, bro?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. I'm doing well. So, are you buying all of the welcome, man? How's your day? Let me not just go into straight into business. How was your day, brother?
It's good, bro, man. How was your day?
I mean, you're the young retiree. I can't mess with you.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the first part of retirement. So yeah, that's it's always good, man, to enjoy a little bit of retirement. I got a good nest egg put aside, so I can enjoy a little bit of retirement. Not forever, but just a little bit of it. I can enjoy a little bit of it.
Are you bored yet?
Nah, not yet.
Not yet?
Nah, not yet. Not yet. I am starting to procrastinate though. Because I've set a few things for myself, and I'm like, I got time to get to it.
I got all day.
Yeah, I got all summer to get to it. I can do that instead of trying to accomplish everything at one time. But nah, man, I'm good, man. I appreciate you asking that, man. I hope you're good, man. I hope your family good. I hope everything good with you on your side too, man.
All is well, man. My son graduated. You know what I'm saying? 4.0 student.
Okay.
Yeah, man, he got scholarship for school. I mean, it ain't NIL, but they're paying for school, so I can lay back and chill. So yeah, life is good. God is good.
Can't beat that, man. Love
That's
to
for
hear.
sure. That's for sure. All right, so let's get to work, man. Let's get to business. These people talking like, are you buying what they're saying? Like, are they testing his resolve? What is all of this about? Elijah Watson with the new membership. I'm sorry, I gotta have to handle that business real quick. Salute to Elijah Watson, the new member of the TLP channel. Thank you, and God bless you. So yeah, man, are you buying all of this? Any of this? Did you hear it? Do you want me to run it back real quick?
Yeah, nah, man. I mean, I think I do buy it just from the simple fact that I mean the people that are saying it, I mean, I guess if we hold them in regards as experts when it comes to the game of football, I guess I gotta buy it. But to me, that's like the old guard of the NFL, right? So that's that thinking of like, yeah, they're trying to test his resolve and things like that because we've seen it over multiple iterations of different players. So why wouldn't that apply to Shedeur if that's what the NFL has kind of put a roadmap in front of with previous players? I don't know. So I guess I kind of buy it a little bit, I
So
guess.
okay, so if you buy it, that means that somewhere in that organization, either the owner that requested that Shedeur be drafted, that strong-armed Stefanski, either he said, look, we know how Shedeur is. Let's put him through the ringer. Let's see if some of the things that has been said about him is true, because we want him, even though we know that we have a first-round draft pick coming up in the 26th, right? If any of those quarterbacks, they're saying, quote unquote, that it's going to be a rich quarterback year, they're saying that they might even skip that. Do you believe that the owner maybe is like, I don't want to dig into that. I want to see what we got in Shedeur. So let's test his maturity and his mental. So you think that they're secretly thinking that he's their number one guy?
I mean, from an
That would be the
owner's
only way it makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, from the owner's perspective, I mean, I guess, right? Like you look at the Browns' history, like how many quarterbacks in the last 20 years? A
Bro,
lot, right?
last year was
So
I heard that they had like 5 quarterbacks in one season.
yeah, they played 5 guys last year. So
That's
I,
crazy. Who plays 5 quarterbacks?
a struggling organization, Harry.
But you know, in order to play 5 quarterbacks, this is what has to happen. You roll with 3 and you take 2 off their couches. There's no way they're carrying 5 quarterbacks on the active roster. So that means that they had to make a phone call and get somebody who was scratching his underwear and picking boogers. They had to call him to come to the organization.
Yeah, that I don't understand, right? Because you know, who knows? The owner before the NFL draft came out said, look, we took a big swing and a miss with Deshaun Watson. So if the owner's saying that, then it's like, all right, are they moving on from Deshaun Watson? And then so that's why you go and you make the trade to pick up a Kenny Pickett, and then you call Joe Flacco and say, hey man, we need you to come in. So I don't know what they're doing, but maybe they're trying to get it right this time. Because I don't see why the Browns would want to draft another quarterback next year. Like I don't understand that.
TR, what's up with you? TR says he says salute to the host and the guest. Let me bring on Ty Smith. Tim Smith, Dallas is in the building. Welcome, my guy. How's it going today, man? Thank you for calling in.
Hey, everything's blessed, man. I've been good, brother. How about yourself? What up, JR?
What up, Tim?
All is well. So, Tim, we're going to jump you right in. How's your day?
Hey, my day been well, man. It been good. If it's a little loud, it's because I'm driving. But it been a rainy day. But other than that, I mean, it's been a blessed day, man. I can't complain. I'm here.
All right. So glad you are amongst the livings. Thank you for calling into TLP Live. I do appreciate you as always, as one of my regulars. So, okay. You've heard some of the things that we were talking about where the ESPN, I forget the black guy's name. I forget his name, but he's saying that, oh no, they're testing his resolve. They're trying to see if he can stick to it, if he's being embarrassed, or if he's going to have a big head and pause, right? If he's going to have, if he's going to feel like he's being shorted, so he's going to be putting up an attitude. I told them that Shedeur wasn't that kind of guy. They didn't believe me. I know they watched the show. Come on, man. Like, hello, this is CLP Sports Club. Stop playing with me. So if that's the case, right? If they're playing with them, does that mean that the owner and the organization already think that he is their number one guy? Tim?
I think what the guy said on ESPN, it sounds like y'all hurting for views, because if you rewind the tape and go back to his college days, he wore that L for a reason, leader. The same Shedeur that we seeing now is the same Shedeur that we seen last year. And for ESPN, for him to say that, you've been watching him, especially as a ESPN commentator, you've been watching him since Jackson State. So
wait, are you taking the position that you think this guy is not telling the truth, or you think there's some truth in what he's saying? What are you saying? Because
I'm thinking he's capping, man. The dude from
ESPN.
You
think he's not telling the truth? Okay.
Yeah, I think he's not telling the truth. I mean, Shedeur has remained the same. Like, the only thing that has changed is his jersey number. That's it. Same Shedeur.
No. Let's run it back. Hold up. Let's run it back, because I don't know if you're talking about the right thing. I'm gonna run it back. Let's listen to it again, because more people are here. Let's run it back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Give me a second. Let me put it back. Y'all can hear the audio, right?
Nah, I can't hear it.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear it. My bad. Maybe I had to put it up on the screen so you can hear it. Okay. There it goes.
Long term with the number of draft picks they have coming.
Y'all can hear it now?
Next year, namely the pick that they're going to get from Jacksonville, and it's probably going to be a high pick. So, yeah, Cleveland's sitting in a good spot, theoretically. As it relates to Shedeur, look, I agree with Stephen A. I agree that they are trying to test him right now, whether that is purposefully or, secondarily, they are testing him right now. They're testing his resilience. They're testing his stick-to-itiveness. They're testing his ability to be intrinsically motivated to continue to stay in the book, when I can tell you this, you're sitting over there during mini camps and OTAs right now. You're seeing a guy who was drafted 2 rounds ahead of you take reps with the ones when you're sitting there going, I'm better than that guy. I'm better than Dylan Gabriel, and I'm not getting the reps. They're going to be watching you. Scouts are watching you. The GM's watching you. Owners are watching you. They're seeing your body language. They're seeing how you are when you go in the huddle and you do get a couple reps. They're seeing how you execute, how you get on with the rest of the teammates, how you walk into the locker room, whether you're the guy who's first into your weightlifting session, whether you're a guy who's early into treatment. Are you in the film room watching extra tape? They're evaluating all that right now when he's not the man. He's not being treated as the man. No one cares about what you did at Colorado anymore. They're testing him. And he's taking the perfect approach. He's saying, look, I got to maximize every single thing that I do here. The great Tom Brady used to talk about it the same way when he went to New England as a 5th-round pick. I had to maximize everything.
So,
see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, Harry. When has Shedeur changed? His dad has said he's grown, right?
Okay.
Shedeur said, all I needed and all I could have hoped for is an opportunity, even though he fell in the 5th round. Thank you for the opportunity. This young man knows everything that lies ahead of him. He knows that he's going to have to work. He knows that he's not going to get the reps with the ones, and he knows Dylan Gabriel being drafted ahead of him. He knows all those things. I think the Browns are playing the game.
Well, essentially, that's what this guy. Somebody, please tell me this black man's name. I don't want to keep saying this guy. What is his name? Whatever. Somebody find his name and let me know. But essentially, that's what he's saying. He's saying that they're testing him. He believes that the organization, like Shedeur, and they want to see if he is their guy for the future. That's what I'm hearing.
The Cleveland Browns know that Shedeur is their guy. But they're not going to
believe that?
Huh?
Oh, Louis Riddick. That's his name, Riddick. Louis Riddick.
I don't think
one of my favorite movies, Riddick.
The Cleveland Browns are not going to give that information too soon. In the back of their mind.
Tim, this is what I want to ascertain from you, okay? Are you with him and believe that they know that he's the guy and they're trying to see if his attitude is right? So are you agreeing with him or disagreeing with him? Because I feel like I'm hearing two different things here.
I guess for me, I don't like that for him to been watching Shedeur up until now say that, oh, the Browns are testing this. Even Stephen A, the Browns are testing that. That sounds like clickbait to me. Y'all know this kid. Stephen A know him better than all of us. You know, on a personal level. So how can you have doubt in your mind that he's not going to be able to handle everything that comes his way, whether it's good or bad? If you know Shedeur is built for this, why are you going to question it? What are you questioning?
Are you saying it from the Browns' perspective, or are you saying it from their perspective?
I'm saying it from their perspective and the Browns' perspective.
Well, I mean, listen. So the Browns are not giving him first-team reps, right?
Correct.
He's not getting first-team reps. So we're trying to understand why in the world is Shedeur not getting these first-team reps, right?
Because the Browns playing the game. They don't want to look like, to me, I feel like the Browns, at the end of the day, the Browns don't want to look like the fool.
But what is that? If you draft a quarterback, whatever rounds you draft them in, right? You want to see what they got so that you can essentially use them in a game situation when you find out what they got. So when you say they don't want to look like the fool, like what does that mean? Like, what do you mean?
Okay, I'll give you an example. The all Pro Bowl defensive back or safety, they interviewed him, I think today, if I'm not mistaken. And he talked about, you know, everybody's doing good in the quarterback room and everything, and I'm hoping that I could pick each one of them off in practice. And the question came up about Shedeur, which, you know, everybody know that's going to come up. And he said Shedeur throws a good ball. And they displayed the young man that you was talking about, that you was talking about last time I was on here, breaking down film. He did another one.
Oh, okay. Dubs, I think that's his name. Something
Good
like that.
Shedeur is doing, whether he's working with the threes or the twos. And he showed how Dylan Gabriel is working with the twos. And everything that we've been talking about, his height and all that stuff like that when it comes to Dylan Gabriel. So I feel like the Browns not going to release certain information. They want to leave everybody in the blind. I feel like they know that Shedeur is better than everybody in that room. But they will never come out and say it publicly, because we know that Shedeur shouldn't have never dropped in the 5th round. They know Shedeur shouldn't have never dropped in the 5th round. Now he's out there shining, whether it's with the threes or the twos or the ones, and he's looking like that franchise quarterback that they know he was initially. So therefore, they're not gonna make themselves. They want to make themselves look right versus looking wrong. So that's my logic of thinking when it comes to that. That's why I say I'm not buying nothing that they selling.
JR Boxing, you're still here. What are your thoughts on what you're hearing Tim say before I bring on Wild Dog? My guy Wild Dog is back. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to get my guy. Wild Dog is back. So what are your thoughts on what Tim is saying, what you're hearing Tim say?
Like, I'm on the same page as Tim. Like, I don't understand the whole, the plan of the game, like what the guy on ESPN was saying. What's his name? Lou Riddick.
Yeah.
But we've seen it before, right? We've seen it with number one quarterbacks. We've seen it with Jamarcus Russell, with they handing him the tape and, hey man, did you study this tape? And it was nothing in the DVD, or you hear stories like that of the games that are being played from organizations with players in the locker room. And one thing that I've noticed about the NFL after watching it for so many years, like that brotherhood is broken down from owners. Like you rarely hear an owner speak out against another owner, right? Because that's a brotherhood. It's only 32 of them collectively. And then from general managers, you don't really hear much about general managers outside of during the draft kind of process. But then you go to head coaches. How often do you hear head coaches speak out about another head coach? Even when they'll have like dust ups and stuff like that, they won't go too far over the edge to misspeak or say something negative about a coach, right?
It ain't like college and Pat Narduzzi talking about Coach Prime.
Exactly. Like college is dog eat dog. The professional ranks is like, well, if your player is available as a free agent, then we can go and sign them kind of thing. But in college, it's kind of dog eat dog. So you gotta throw more mud at another person to try to dirty up their program. But in the NFL, you really don't have to do that. So I'll take it back to this. Kevin Stefanski, to go to what Tim was saying, Kevin Stefanski said, we had Dylan Gabriel as the number 2 quarterback on our draft board. Well, who was your number 1? Because if you look at the projections of every website, every nationally publicated talk show, radio show, TV show, they all had Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, 1A, 1B, however you want to cut it up, right? But then the draft, a few days before the draft happens, you hear negative reports of character. That takes it back to, all right, well, if some unknown sources are saying Shedeur has character flaws or character issues, well, he only took so many visits. So who could this possibly be coming from? Either it's coming from the Giants organization or the Browns organization. From one of those organizations, because Mike Tomlin came out himself and said he had a very productive, very great meeting.
You think the Browns sullied him to try to get him on cheap?
Who knows, right? Who knows?
That would be diabolical.
but from my theory of it, the way I go about it, and the way I put it together, it's like, okay, so if the coaches kind of stick together and Brian Dable or whoever in the Giants organization, supposedly gave Shedeur a playbook and put some fake stuff in it, and then Shedeur didn't catch it and he didn't like that, or whatever whatever that story was, like these coaches are gonna stick with each other. So when they're going through this process of, all right, well, we got a guy evaluated number 1 on our board, but from a coach's perspective, from this circle of coaches we deal with, because there's only 32 of us and only 32 GMs, so we're gonna kind of stick together in this whole thing, collusion without saying collusion. So that's why I'm like, who's the number 1 quarterback on the draft board? So when Tim said they gotta go with the lie of, well, we got Dylan Gabriel, so we can't say Shedeur is a number 1 guy that we had on our draft board. Because if you are a reporter, Harry, what's the first question? Well, you are a reporter. What's the first question you'll ask Kevin Stefanski? Well, if Dylan Gabriel was number 2, who was your number 1?
Yeah, they won't tell us. They won't tell you. They're gonna give you that generic answer. Well, our game is very intrinsic, and we try to hold certain things to the. Anyways, I got my guy Wild Dog. He's back. He's been in the green room. Let's bring him on. Wild Dog, welcome back to the show, my guy. It's been a long time. God bless you for calling back in. What up, my guy?
Hey, blessings, everybody. Blessings, BWB Bandwagon Bus. We in here, dog. We in here.
We sure are in here. And I just wanted to say,
Wild Dog?
Phil said the first time, this is the first time that Shedeur had to earn a starting job. And it's fair to say how he responds. It's fair to see how he responds. I don't know if that's on the organization. I don't know if it's up to the Browns to treat him a certain way, because you got all employees. Why are you, Wild Dog? You tell me. Are they holding this employee? Are they using the fifth round to send a message to him, or what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, first off, let's just set the landscape. All right. Not all organizations are built to come up the same. And then just because you're an NFL, organization doesn't mean your status is the same. It's well known throughout the whole league, Cleveland Browns are operating in dysfunction. And because football is the number one sport in the nation, you can operate in dysfunction and still sell out your games and still have, operating revenue in the black. So let's set that landscape. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's not be confused about the NFL shield and make any assumptions about the organization we're talking about. All right.
That's right.
And it's nothing personal against anybody. It's, it is what it is. That's life, So this whole thing with Shedeur, there's a couple of things, right? Not to lend to any conspiracy, so I'm going to use the word narrative.
Okay.
So there's certain narrative, because we're all human beings and our organization is organic. There's certain narrative, and people's, jobs and reputations are on the line, right? And then two, right? We call them reindeer games. Nothing you've done has worked for you. So you start reaching for straws and doing stuff that's a little bit out of the ordinary. And that's to be expected, because whatever you've been doing hasn't worked for you. So whatever we got to do or try something different, even if it's outside of the box. Right? And so, especially when it comes to QB prospecting, nobody knows what they're talking about. And year after year, decade after decade, we talk about instances where, QBs are falling under the radar. And that's the most important position. It's like, why can't the NFL get it right? And then when it comes to statistics, it's like, oh, the NFL's like, oh, football, we got this and we got that. I'm like, dude, baseball has been doing that for over 100 years already. Basketball for the last 50 years. Now you just coming along in the last 5-10 years looking at the deep statistics, but you haven't learned how to use them. Okay, so we got Shedeur in camp, and with all the drama of him being there, and the Browns being the one team that Coach Prime is actually on record saying, for an example, I wouldn't want to see Shedeur in the Cleveland Browns. And this is hey, it's facts. It's in black and white. They actually got him this, who would this? He just gave an example, the Cleveland Browns. And all of a sudden, Shedeur ends up in Cleveland. And it took the Cleveland Browns owner to come in and say, wait a minute, enough's enough, pick up Shedeur. And
let's bring on DC. Let's bring on DC. Let me get his thoughts. And we got a whole nother video that we want to react to. This was just the opening act. So I don't want y'all to use all of your, wit on this one thing. We got a whole nother video we want to react to. DC, welcome to the show. How you doing, my brother? Thank you for calling in.
Doing pretty good. How's everything going? Harry B in the panel. What's up with you?
DC, what's happening?
Greetings.
DC, let's get your thoughts. Let's get your final, not your final thoughts. Let's get your thoughts on what we're talking about. Is Cleveland Browns, are they holding out? Are they in one respect, are they playing games? Are they trying to see who they got in Shedeur and trying to see where he's at mentally? So they're playing this game of cat and mouse and, oh, let's not give him no first team reps? Or are they just going along with what happens to a fifth rounder? Your thoughts?
Okay, well, of course, I don't come from the point of the absolute optimist, certainly not coming as a pessimist, but I'm more so in a realistic and maybe a little skeptic standpoint. So coming in here, that I'm gonna look at this, is that if we're sitting here saying that the Browns, who have not gotten the QB situation right in over 20 years, has this master plan to be diabolical enough or wise enough to play the head game, I'm just not, just from their pattern, I'm not buying it. I think to a point where they have a mess. They don't really know necessarily what they're doing, because at the end of the day, is folks, is this simple. It doesn't matter if you think a rookie is great. If a rookie is not getting the reps, and they're getting a few reps, and they're not getting the reps with the ones or twos, or they're not getting the meaningful reps, then that's going to be to Shadeur's disadvantage for development. So I think to a point where they really don't know what they're doing. What they're probably saying is, we did draft Dylan at this particular level, at the third round. So let's see what happens. And we already made commitments to Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco. So I think that's what's going on. But I do think that they are open to Shedeur winning it. But I just personally don't think they're trying to find a I don't think they're trying to find a franchise QB, because if you are, you're going to at least give him some reps, right?
But wait, are you saying they're not smart enough to? We're giving them too much credit out here.
Giving them way too much. I mean, think about it. It'd be one thing if it's a
Yo,
couple, but over 20 years of jacking the QB situation up, and you're telling me we get right to this point and say, you know what? We went out and gave up a draft pick to get Kenny Pickett. Brought Joe Flacco off the couch. We drafted Dylan Gabriel, and oh, by the way, Shadeur is available at the fifth round. Now my master plan and rubbing their hands like Birdman can now come into play. I'm not buying that.
so, yo, wow.
I'm not buying it either. We on the same page, DC.
Hey, they got rid of Menzel, who's now over there with Todd Boyles, who was here in New York. And again, another organization, the Jets, that do not know how to handle talent or anything at that, right? They got rid of Todd Boyles. Now he's over there with the Bucks. You feel me? And Johnny Manziel is over there. And if I'm not mistaken, they went deep into the playoff not too long ago, right? So it's like, yeah, they're having a really hard time trying to, I mean, with just handling talent. But I'm used to that, though. I'm used to organizations not knowing what to do with talent. I'm in New York. The New York Jets and the Giants don't know what to do with anything or anyone. Look at the daggone Knicks. Look, what's his name? Obi? Obi is dunking on them. We got rid of Obi, and then he's dunking on them in the playoff. And he was, dude, when I get going with this New York sports scene, oh my gosh, it's like madness, dude. But anyway, now I got to deal with, it's like, is it a sports curse? You are a New York sports fan, and now you got to be a Cleveland Browns fan? somebody just bad juju. Bad juju. Bad juju. Let's take a listen to these guys on Fox Sports, because they have some things to say, and I think this is going to expand the conversation. So, guys, hold your analysis. I got some more time for y'all. Let's listen to what they got to say. We'll break it down a piece by piece, because they got a whole lot to say.
Let's go here, Rob G, with a little news about Shedeur Sanders, and we all wishing Dion a speedy recovery.
Have they said anything specific? Is it just health issues still?
Yeah.
All right, so for those of y'all who don't know, Coach Prime is dealing with some health issues. He, I believe, he didn't spend time with the summer camp, the summer trainings or whatnot. News is that he lost like either 12 to 15 pounds, and you know what size Coach Prime is already. So It's customary on this show. Can you please bow your heads, close your eyes, keep your eyes open, whatever. We're going to go ahead and say a quick prayer for Coach Prime. Father God, in the name of Jesus, I pray for Coach Prime. Father God, he is still following his dream. He is still doing what you commission him to do, which is to lead a generation of newcomers to you, Father God, young men. You're putting him in charge of so much, Father God. So his health is very important to be able to follow through with that commission. So, Lord God, we cover Coach Prime in the blood of Jesus, and we pray that he will be healthy enough to continue his mission that you have put him on. All of this we say in Jesus' name, amen.
Okay.
Amen, man.
There.
Amen.
And yeah, he's had some issues. He had to lose a couple of toes from blood clots in the past and different things going on. But
his leg all cut up too. Yeah, he's been through a lot.
Those toes, when they showed it, did you ever see that? Oh man,
it's unreal.
Like, how did you get like it was so black? I just couldn't, like, when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, how did it get to that point?
It's been rough. That's why if you ever see him just a little limp in the walk, that's what it is. He's missing toes on one of his
couple of toes.
Yep.
Definitely. But Shedeur.
Yeah, well wishes to Coach Prime. Hopefully he gets better soon. We'll see him back in Boulder.
Well, no doubt.
Back on his feet, with both feet, relatively quickly. But Shedeur Sanders, guys, it's much the same as what we saw in their voluntary minicamp, because you'll recall we talked about on this show. Day one of Shedeur during rookie minicamp lit it up. 7 of 9, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. Today,
DC, cover your ears. You don't want to hear this part, DC. Cover your ears. I'm sorry to pick on you, but you live, so I got to pick on you.
Hey, during their first practices of mandatory OTAs with the full squad in tow, Shedeur did it again. 10 of 12, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Easily the best numbers of any of the quarterbacks who practiced on Tuesday.
Everyone is calling this the new $1 billion stimulus program for New York homeowners. It's a brand.
The only problem is
there's a little caveat to that. What is that? What could
at
that
no
be?
point during the voluntary minicamp or during the mandatory minicamp has Shedeur worked with the first unit. In fact, of the 4 quarterbacks on their roster, Shedeur, Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Sanders is the only one who still has not gotten a single rep with the ones.
Hey, y'all leave the weekender alone. I see a troll in there. Don't worry. We like trolls around here. Let the weekender, let him just go. He'll get tired. He'll get tired. As long as he don't get out of pocket. I don't really ban people around here, but let him troll.
According to multiple outlets.
If that doesn't tell you all you need to know, like the idea of him, I hear some guys.
First of all, that's his opening statement. Does that, hearing that when he says, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, does that really tell y'all everything you need to know? And we got a couple of guys on here, and Ty Smith hasn't spoken in a long time. Ty Smith, if you're here, is that everything you need to know? Or do you feel like, no, but let me just ask a straight question. Is that everything you need to know?
No. I mean, they not saying nothing. They sound like ESPN to me. That's not saying anything. All right, check this out. I listened to Cleveland Browns show. And I don't know, don't hold me to it. I don't know if it was today. I heard it today, but I don't know if they aired it today or yesterday. But anyway, they said somebody in their little circle has access to the Cleveland Browns mini camps and OTAs. And he said that Shedeur Sanders looked the best out of all 4 quarterbacks. Joe Flacco is not really doing a lot now because he knows the playbook. Kenny Pickett looked just like Kenny Pickett should look since he came in the NFL. A backup quarterback. Dylan Gabriel.
He was a first rounder.
Yeah, a first rounder, but I'm saying a backup. He's been a backup, and he's been to multiple teams since he's been in the league. So I don't see Pickett being Cleveland's day one starter. Dylan Gabriel, even though he's working with the twos, he may get a little work with the ones. When he did go against the ones, he had 0 completions based off of what they saying over at Cleveland Browns show. Then they moved him over to the twos. Then he was able to make a completion. But they're seeing what we see. He can't see over the offense and defensive line. So he's having a hard time. And Shedeur, whether he's working with the twos or the threes, he's lighting it up. He's threading that thing. So I have to hear a little bit more of them, but what they saying right now, it don't hold water to me. They sound like ESPN.
So okay, let's hear a little bit more. Let's let them speak a little bit for themselves. But I just wanted to say, because when somebody says out the bat or off the bat, when they say, "Oh, that's all you need to know," it's indicative of how they think the organization is thinking about that person. And I'm not sure if I want to totally agree with his assessment, but let him talk a little bit.
Even on this radio network, talking about he should be the starter from day one. You're not going to be the starter from day one, Kelvin, if you're not even getting reps with the first team. Let's just be honest, okay? And this is a clear sign of where the Browns are thinking. Like the idea that he's not getting any, and wasn't it just Flacco didn't even get any reps, right? And
limited.
Yeah, he could have got in there or maybe got a couple. Like you don't have to go and give him all the reps, but no reps at either one of the voluntary and the involuntary, not like no first team reps at all. Like you're not going to make it as a starting quarterback from there. And if you're not lighting up the third and fourth string, then you're in trouble. You better be 10 for 12 with 2 touchdowns against a lot of guys who'll be working at all State Farm and different places pretty soon.
Enterprise.
Yeah, Enterprise car rental. I'm not knocking the job, but you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. They won't be in the NFL. Everybody at camp is not going to be in the NFL. That's not how it works. So, I think the reports have been misleading. A lot of people haven't even talked about who he's facing and who he's playing against, and it matters. And I think that this is where the Browns are. This is where they drafted him, Kelvin. So this, to me, makes sense. They're not punishing him. This is where he was drafted, and this is where they look at him as far as progression.
Hey, Harry,
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt it. Their backdrop says it all for me. Their backdrop says it all. But
what do you mean? Fox Sports Radio, iHeart, what?
Fox Sports is not the same as Fox News.
Come on, Tim.
Come on, Tim. Come on.
You say it's all the same. I feel you, Tim. Tim say it's all the same.
That's all I need to know. That's
Fox all
News.
I need to know. That's a Fox.
That's messed up, man. Hey, shout out to my friends with Fox. Shout out to my friends with Fox. I didn't say that.
Hey, we all know a black person that works at Fox News, okay? They need that money too. So would you leave if you knew your organization was race baiting? Look, Tim, let it go. Let it go, Tim. Calm down. Okay, so let me just run it just a little bit back, because I think he said some things here. He said some things that kind of like, make some of my hairs on the back of my neck stand up. But I want to give you an opportunity to talk about it, to dissect what he's saying here.
In the NFL, that's not how it works. So, I think the reports have been misleading. A lot of people haven't even talked about who he's facing and who.
Right here, like, a lot of the reports have been misleading, and people are not talking about who he's facing, right? That just makes me feel like he's trying to downplay the performance. He's trying to down. Let me get your JR. Let me go to you first. Let me get your thoughts on that, and then I'll go down the line.
Absolutely, I'm with you, Harry. It absolutely sounds like the play is being downplayed, because he's saying, whatever grouping he's throwing to, whether it's third or fourth team. Look, the vice versa could be used. If Shedeur, who most widely considered to be a first round grade, second round grade, depending on who you listen to, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he got drafted fifth round, and he goes into camp, and he's still working with the threes and the fours, and he's having no completions or two or three interceptions throwing those during those throwing periods. Then the narrative would be what?
Yo,
He's
Jared, I don't mean to cut you
exactly
off.
where
Wouldn't he
he
be
should be
out of here
drafted.
already? Would Shedeur not
Exactly.
be up out of here already if all he was doing was ducks and interceptions?
Exactly, right? That would be the narrative to say he's exactly where he's supposed to be. So now the fact that you have a higher graded person, but you got him at a lower round, and they're coming in and they look the part, at least to the organization's eyes or the people that are coming in to watch these mini camps or OTAs. So they're saying that he's looking the part. So again, that goes to my question. If Kevin Stefanski stood at the podium and said, well, we had Dylan Gabriel as the second quarterback on our big board, who was your first?
You're not gonna
Who
let this
was
go.
it?
You're not letting
I'm
it
not
go.
Harry. I can't let it go. I'll leave it at that though. I'll
Yo,
leave it at that, Harry.
I know. It's hurting you. It's hurting your feelings. I feel it. All right. Go ahead, Wild Dog. Then we come to DC. Wild Dog's your take. Is he downplaying Shedeur? You can pretty much tackle whatever anything that you heard from him on whatever he's been saying. Go ahead, Wild Dog.
Well, I mean, it's just playing it safe and straight. I mean, this is just normal, football 101, but they did start off talking about, the current events with, Coach Prime, having some health issues, so let's just say hypothetically, if he was me, right, and I've got, a QB, a rookie QB at that in training camp, and I know he's got, kind of family distress, father sick, I might consider him stepping back instead of putting something bad on the tape. But they're not going to say that. They're taking a spin that, respect to Coach Prime, he's not feeling well, and let's go in on Shedeur and blah blah blah. Basically they're saying he's headed to the practice squad.
Oh, you heard practice squad out of all of that?
That's what I heard. I've been around media a long time. They're saying it without saying it. So football 101, this is your lot. We got 4 QBs in camp. You're coming in as number 4, and there's no movement. And now you got no reps.
Barry Johnson said Rob is absolutely trying to downplay the performances. Rob, why was Kenny traded for a fifth rounder? So, all right.
And again, it's spinning into the narrative, Harry B. Like I was talking about earlier, just spinning into the narrative.
That's true. I can see where that. All right, DC, you got to have a different spin on this. I definitely want to hear your spin on this.
Right. Well, first, I'm glad that y'all are able to see how well he does during official tickling activities at AKA OTAs. Let's just start right off with that, man.
You are something else. You are something else,
Official
DC.
tickling activities.
Official tickling activities. I like it.
Exactly. I'm sitting here watching.
Oh, DC.
I'm watching.
They're gonna hate you. Those aunties are coming with their machetes.
That's all right.
You.
Again, y'all, I said I'm a realist with a little bit of skepticism, and then of course there's some entertainment value to where I'm going at. All right, so don't hate on me. You'll love me in real life. So the thing being,
you just do this for the tube.
Yeah, this is fun. Yes, right. So the thing being is that it's true. If he's not getting the reps, because eventually you've got to get that. But again, what I'm watching them do is the OTAs. Shadeur is an awesome passer. He's gonna always do good and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I heard somebody say on another show, it's that Dylan is more mobile. So who's going to probably do a little better with 7-on-7s and stuff like that? It will be Shedeur, because Shedeur is more of a pure passer, whereas Dylan gives you some mobility. Again, I am not putting Dylan above of Shedeur at all. I'm just basically saying in this time, I'm trying to process.
If Dylan can't see over the receivers, he got to get out of that pocket.
Well, wait a minute. But hold on one second.
He's got no choice, bro.
Right, but like for example, people are saying, all right, well, Dylan, the ball's back down because he can't see X, Y, and Z. Did y'all see how tall the average Oregon's average line height is the same as the NFL? So he can navigate around them. It's just to a point where I don't know if it's because his numbers aren't the same as Shedeur. It's because they're throwing a little more at Dylan than they are Shedeur. But here's the thing, tie it all together.
No. You're not just gonna get away with that.
I don't know.
What more are they throwing? Are they giving Dylan and that they're not giving Shedeur? The difference that I've been hearing, and I'm just trying to be neutral about this. The difference I've been hearing is that he's running with the 2s and the 3s. He hasn't gotten no first team. I don't think they're giving him any more difficult tasks to Dylan than they are to Shedeur.
Well, from what I understand, it is a difference. I mean, if you're going up against 3s and 4s and people that are more than likely going to be on the practice team, and then you have somebody else that's actually going with the reps of first people that have been veterans and stuff like that. And from what I understand, the difference between 11 on 11 versus 7 on 7. I don't know. That's why I'm sitting up here saying that.
Okay, so look, count this to my naivety. These guys played like Dylan, like everybody else in college. They played at the highest level. The NFL sought after them, and they said, you guys are the best of the best. We're going to give you an opportunity to make the team. You only get 52 or 53 squad team, right? People on the team.
Yeah.
You can't pick everyone. So we can't start saying, oh my gosh, these are scrubs. These are not scrubs. It's just opportunity, right? So it's like, I get the idea of, oh, okay, you're going to be going against, but these are the guys that are on from the best of the best college teams in the nation. So a rep is a rep, right? Like, it's not like that he's going against high school players here. Let's make sure we clear that up.
I don't agree with that part of it, because you have 90 people in the camp. The team is going to be cut down to 53. So right there, half the folks. The truth is, out of all the people that get drafted, only 30% of them make the team. We're not even talking about UDFAs, stuff like that. So at the end of the day, you are going to go to people that are good, but not necessarily good enough to make a starting roster, because you only have so many slots. It's not, well, by all means, not saying they're scrubs. What I'm saying is that if all reps, like if I'm asking Shedeur to hit a post, because if you notice, it's not a whole lot of rush going on, and the DBs aren't really like pushing them or shaking them or stuff like that. It's pretty much just running through stuff, and almost like they're getting acclimated to timing, stuff like that. That's what I kind of see going on, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But if
if that is the case, then aren't all of them supposed to be able to put up the numbers that Shedeur's putting up?
Well, I mean,
exactly.
Again, well, I guess my thing is this. Let's go back to that. If Shedeur is a pure passer and is a better passer has a better passing game than Dylan, then you would be right. But we all know all QBs is not just based upon your ability to pass. It is also based upon your ability to read defenses. It's manage the running game. I don't know if the Browns do RPOs, different stuff like that. That's what I'm saying.
We're not talking about that right now. What we're talking about is
pushback.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to push back as much as I can. Y'all can push back because I'm hearing some ridiculousness. Because
how is it ridiculous to say? How is it ridiculous to say that Shedeur is a better passer?
No.
Doesn't mean that he's.
That's
overall.
not what I'm. That's not the ridiculous part. The ridiculous part is to say.
You know what you did, DC.
I know. Don't worry. I got DC thinking he's slick.
A backhanded compliment.
No, that wasn't backhanded compliment. It's
a backhanded compliment.
It's the truth.
Let me tell you the ridiculous part. The ridiculous part is you're trying to make it sound like the the progressions that Shedeur is going through is different from the progressions that the other teams, that the other guys are going through. If they're all playing with the 2s and the 3s, with the exception of Shedeur not being able to take first team reps, right? Dylan, who has your attention, who was drafted in the 3rd round, right? Dylan should, if you're simplifying it the way you're simplifying it, Dylan should be light years apart from Shedeur with just the shorts and, like you said, tickling, right? In the tickling game, Dylan should be miles and miles separated from Shedeur. But Shedeur has the higher numbers.
But
that's what I'm
hold
saying.
on.
What you're saying sounds ridiculous.
I'm gonna push back. Well, I'm gonna push back on what you said because it sounds ridiculous. Since we're gonna throw ridiculous around everybody,
I'm using ridiculous.
Let's go. So let's go.
Bring it.
Yeah, I do think.
Hold on, because Tim said he had pushback.
I know Tim got a pushback too. So let Tim get his in. Let Tim get his in, and then we can double team.
Let me just say this one thing. First of all, when we say ridiculous, I think we need to at least say Diddy somewhere in there, a little bit.
No, ridiculous has nothing to do with Diddy. No, because then you start thinking about why would Diddy we be
the
ridiculous?
second thing,
no.
Right? The second thing is the second thing in this is. Then, because when you say that means that there's no difference between first team reps and third team reps or second team reps.
You missed the whole thing I just said. I said when they are both dealing with the 2s and the 3s.
But he hasn't had any first team reps.
No.
That's what they just said.
Let's take the first team reps and set it to the side for 1 second, right? Let's set that to the side for a second because he ain't doing that well with the first teams either. When we get to the second teams and the third teams, the 7-on-7s and the other whatever else they have to do, right? According to your argument, Dylan, Gabriel, and the other guys, their numbers should be way higher because they're getting those first team reps. They're getting so much.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
But I'm just saying, but I'm trying to tell you the numbers has to be there. Regardless of whose rep you're getting, like you got to make those numbers. Let me get Tim in here because he had a pushback. Maybe he'll help you out a little bit. Go ahead, Tim.
Okay. Dylan Gabriel went with the 1s.
Mm-hmm.
They say he tore up about 20 yards of field for throwing the ball.
Who's they?
Huh?
Who's they?
These are reporters that are at the game. Only reporters are allowed there.
If you go over to the Cleveland Browns show, they got a reporter that been invited to all the OTAs and mandatory.
DC thought that you were talking about one of the aunties.
No, not the aunties.
Come on now.
So with that being
said, he thinks that all of us get our news from the auntie network.
No,
aunties got all the data.
But
aunties are lit online, okay?
But my pushback to you, DC, is even though Dylan Gabriel went with the 1s, he underperformed drastically. So I agree with what Harry's saying. If he got drafted in the 3rd round, they picked up Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, they brought him in from the nursery home. They should be lights ahead of Shedeur. But there's one thing that I haven't heard nobody say anything about just yet, that I feel like why Shedeur is ahead of all those guys, and that's his ball placement. Where he places the ball and he's getting these touchdowns, those guys haven't showcased it. Even Joe Flacco. And he's been in the league for years. But Shedeur's ball placement and the way that he's scanning the field like he did in college, I feel like that's why he's ahead of everybody else in that race.
But Tim. All right, first, folks, I am not trying to defend Dylan Gabriel, and then I'm just sitting here saying you
You
don't
got a good
Oh, I
necessarily
know
defense
you're not.
argument. You
learn
got a
a
good
lot.
defense argument.
I
But
know,
the
right?
other,
For,
I'm not trying to
for a guy that's
defend
not
him.
trying to
I'm trying to
defend,
sit back and say
you're
at
doing a
the end of
good
the day
job.
is the first team reps is the reps. But I mean, think about it. You're sitting here saying that, all right, well, if he's over here, then he should be lights out better than X, Y, and Z. Well, no, he shouldn't be lights out. He's a rookie just like Shedeur is a rookie.
Okay, DC, you know what? Let me give you this. Should he at least have a little bit better numbers than Shedeur? At least.
Well,
being third round, being 2 rounds ahead of this guy, should he, if it's not light years away, right? Maybe
no, I don't think so.
Should he be slightly better than Shedeur?
I don't think so. I think y'all are trying to compare fighting
you can't
a real.
have it both ways.
No, I can't. I'm not happy. Well, you're looking at it as an absolute either or. I'm sitting here saying is that there is not always a huge difference between a third and a fifth round QB. It's
I'll
not.
give him that. I'll give him that.
So
give him that.
I'm not expecting because
I'm not
again
giving
the
him
day
that.
is
You're on your own.
well, of course.
Giving him that.
Yeah, but see, Terry, you trying to sit here and have this argument.
I'm not giving him that. I can tell you why I'm not giving you that.
Because you love Shedeur.
No. Okay. Let me tell my Shedeur. Let me take my Shedeur hat off, and let me just tell you what this guy is saying. If you listen to this guy, what he just said, right? If you just listen to what he just said,
I did.
He said the first thing he said that should tell you everything you need to know. Why they're treating him the way that they're treating him. All right. He's not getting the reps. They don't think that he's a starter X, Y, and Z. So that means that they believe that Dylan Gabriel, who was on their board and Shedeur wasn't, is a better quarterback, right? He's a better quarterback because he was drafted in the 3rd round. He has more stock in the organization than Shedeur. So you cannot have both sides of the argument saying that Shedeur was drafted in the 5th round, so he should not earn any type of first-team reps. Dylan Gabriel does, but when you put them side by side in the Tickle Me league and you put shorts and helmets on, Shedeur is killing him. He should be at least a little bit better than Shedeur based on the statistics, based on the information.
No, but you're saying, but you're
ways.
But you're trying to make this conversation as fighting a real gorilla and fighting a man in a gorilla suit. That's not the same.
No,
you are fighting 2 gorillas, but one gorilla may be a little.
I took away the nostalgia commentary, and I said, look, maybe not light years away. Let's just say at least have equal numbers or a little bit better, but it's not even close. So that's what. So where's the argument? Like,
I'll say,
it has to be close or at least a little better for the 3rd rounder. So somebody lying.
I'll say this, Harry. When it comes to like I said earlier in the show, the old guard of how people view football, how they report on football, the status quo is usually the person that's drafted ahead is going to get the opportunity first. That's just usually how it goes. Whether it's a economic thing
about
with
opportunity right now, I'm talking about the numbers. I'm saying, regardless of opportunity, when we go head to head, I gotta say pause, Diddy. When we go head up, right? Your numbers should say it cannot be that Shedeur had no interceptions, you had 1 or 2. Shedeur every single day, Shedeur's numbers are way higher. If you listen to what this guy said right before they come into the thing, listen to this. Okay,
you got to like idea of him.
First unit. In fact, the only problem is 10 of 12 lit it up. Shedeur Sanders. Guys, it's much the same as what we saw in their voluntary minicamp, because you'll recall we talked about on this show. Day 1 of Shedeur during rookie minicamp lit it up.
That is not me saying that. That is not TLP saying that. That is the statistics that came out of the OTAs. Day number 1 lit it up.
Yeah, that I agree to. I mean, we saw the stats ourselves.
Okay. But
and the film don't lie.
What
The
should
film
we
does
be
not lie.
saying about Dylan, the third rounder? Should we not be saying something similar? No?
Well,
that's why that's why I say, look,
We should, Harry.
Am I missing something? I know my football knowledge is not that as great as some of y'all heads, but come on now. Give me
That's
a
why
break.
I agree with you,
Harry.
but I was speaking to the point of them saying who gets opportunities to throw first round, go against the first
We
team.
off that. Jay-Z said we off that, my guy. We off that.
What DC? No, I'm saying to what DC was alluding to, saying that potentially Dylan is getting more. I don't think Dylan is getting more of a readout when it comes to the playbook than Shedeur. I think they're both getting the same readouts. They're just working with different teams. And I agree with you, Harry. Yes, if Dylan's talent exceeded Shedeur's when he came down to the 2s and 3s, then he should be able to overwhelmingly light it up, right? I agree to that, but we all know
Shedeur is lighting it up, and you're saying, I'm just trying to simplify all of this, slow it down so we can all understand, at least in its simplest form. Because you cannot tell me when they both are doing the 7-on-7s, when they're both working with the 2s and the 3s, we keep hearing Shedeur light it up. He lit it up. We keep
7 of 9, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks.
7 of 9, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. Are you hearing that about Dylan Gabriel?
This goes with my narrative. This is JR Boxing's narrative. Again, who was the first quarterback on their big board?
Jason.
Because if you put Shedeur in the first team, if you put him in the first team, and let's say he gets 16 reps, and then he go 14 to 16 to throw 2 touchdowns, and then you compare Dylan Gabriel's 16 reps, and he went 7 to 16 with 2 touchdowns but 2 interceptions, you're gonna be looking like, well, why did you draft? Again, the question would be asked,
because
why did you draft that person first?
Go out there and he gets those similar numbers.
I can answer that question.
The goalpost is going to move again. They're going to say,
I can answer the question.
The guys in shorts, the guys that were wearing tights, they weren't wearing real shorts. They were wearing tights. So it's not.
That's exactly what they're going to say, Harry. But then the reporters will say, but why did you draft Dylan ahead of Shedeur? Because Kevin Stefanski put it out there, but yet everybody's still glossing over the fact that he said the second QB on their big board was Dylan Gabriel. Who was your first, sir?
I'm about to answer it and then kick it to Wild Dog.
Ahead,
so let me answer it.
Ain't that what I said earlier, JR?
Right. So the first person,
Tim said it.
Right, but here's the thing, folks, and then I'm gonna kick it to Wild Dog. It's that if you're constantly looking at things
Wild Dog ain't gonna rescue you.
If you're looking, I don't need him to rescue me.
He ain't here to help you out. I'm just gonna let you know.
Hey, if you really sit back and think about this, is that you cooking yourself. But we'll talk about
No,
this.
I'm not. I promise you, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. I'm gonna tell you why.
This is not college football we're talking about.
I know, but what I'm telling you,
this is the big boys league.
I know, but what I'm sitting here saying,
I ain't gonna cook myself with the NFL. I promise you that.
What I'm saying is this. All right, because all that stuff that you're saying that he looks good, he's still getting a certain type of reps that not first team. That's what he's saying. All right, as far as what I'm saying here is that JR asked a question, and this is what I'm making up the point is that
why are you ducking what I'm saying?
I'm not ducking what you're saying. I think what
you're not hitting the head on like
I am ducking. I am.
Whoa! Did you hear him, DC?
I hear him. I'm just gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah, hit the head on.
Yes. I've said Diddy in my mind, but I want to kick it to Wild Dog. But I'm just gonna say this. All right. So here's the thing: if I'm only looking and listening to the things, because these folks know, the more I talk about Shedeur, the more shine, the more attention I'm gonna get. That doesn't mean that everything that is accurate and that there is an embellishment, but that doesn't mean it's all that it's a lie either. What I'm saying is that. So answer JR's question, the Browns wanted Jason Milroe. That's who they had. Jalen Milroe, I'm sorry, predicted to be on their board. But of course, he went to the Seahawks.
Alabama quarterback? You don't even know the old quarterback's name?
Yes, it is. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of somebody
What
else
is really going
in the
on?
same thing. But
You're thinking
Jalen
about Diddy
Milroe,
too much.
no, I'm not. I ain't thinking
Oh,
about that
come
at
on,
all.
You
man.
got
Come
Diddy on your
on.
brain.
Right. I will be
Come on,
thinking
man.
about.
That's wild.
I see he tried to cook. Well, go ahead. So, so the point being is that that's what I think that that when they didn't get him, that it was Dylan, and then I think they may not have planned for Shedeur to be on the board, and he wound up getting on the board. But now what y'all trying to say this, and then I really am booting it, and then we'll get back to it. Is that what y'all are saying? Is this something happened that Shedeur dropped? And then the Browns somehow say, "Oh, he's fifth. I'm gonna jump on it." So they get him, and then all of a sudden, with just between the official tickling acts, the official tickling that we now is within just a month. This guy's our franchise QB. We're talking about the Browns. I'm not saying that Shadeur can't or won't be. What I'm saying.
See, he must be
Oh,
talking
he
something
went
crazy.
out.
His audio's gone. You see?
Okay, Harry D.
Hey, y'all hear me? Hey, y'all hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I'll come back to that.
All right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Wild Dog.
I mean, again, we're talking about the Browns.
Oh
So,
Lord.
when you ask them, well, who was your number one, right? They're going to embarrass themselves. It was Cam Ward.
Okay, even if they say that.
Why would you have Cam Ward as your number one when he's a consistent number one pick? That's who I think was number one, Cam Ward. And that doesn't make any sense to anybody.
Because they didn't have the number one pick.
Even my
they
next
had the number
door
one
neighbor
pick.
who's a Grammy.
Yep.
If you have the consensus number one on your board and you're not the number one pick, you're either planning to trade up. Maybe they were trying to trade up and they couldn't make it happen.
But they traded back. That's the thing. They had the second pick,
yeah,
so they
they
traded
didn't have
back.
enough pick. They didn't have enough picks to trade up because they mortgaged everything. They traded a lot of the picks away for Deshaun Watson 3 years ago.
Yeah, they surviving on gas fumes and hopes and dreams, and it's football we're playing. Okay, so and then with the whole, we're talking about NFL is ran by billionaire playboys and good old boys. And look, your whole trajectory, the draft, when you get drafted, now if you're unrestricted, undrafted free agent, that's different. But if you're drafted, that pretty much that kind of cements. Unfortunately, it cements your trajectory of your career. You're literally have to come out the mud depending on based on how you're drafted. Okay, so the only reason Pickett still has a job is because he was a first round prospect and he was drafted high in the first round. Okay,
that's true.
That's the only reason
out of here. If he was an undrafted free agent, he would be out of here already.
He'd be out of there. And again, Harry, to your point, right? First or second round, right? You in a certain expectation or deem of performance. Now you go beyond the second round, you get it to third or fourth. You're right. You're looking at second string prospect, someone who might could come in for a few plays or might even help us survive a game. Maybe that's it. After that, you talking about fifth, sixth, and Mr. Irrelevant. There are no expectations other than to give you an opportunity, flesh you out, help us run our camp, and by some miracle, okay, you may make the team or we may call you up later. And trying to get these old dogs to see you any different, that's a really difficult task.
And that's where I'm having the issue with Wild Dog.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, if you do that, there's people's jobs and reputations on the line.
And that's what I said earlier.
But that's the thing.
The good old boys.
If you're treating this like a fifth rounder, I understand, right? If y'all want to have the conversation and say, okay, let's treat this like a fifth rounder, fine. Go ahead and let's have that conversation. I'm with it, right? But if you're also treating Dylan, and you have to, like a third rounder. So if that's the case, then tell somebody, please help me to understand why is the fifth rounder outplaying the third rounder? If we're having an honest conversation, why is the fifth rounder outplaying the third rounder?
He's a better talent. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is.
And if you have a better talent, then why are we playing games with the better talent? Why are we not giving him the more reps? Once you figure out, oh, wait a minute, this third rounder can barely throw over he can barely throw over the first, the whatever team we put him out there on, but we have a better talent. If we are just doing talent evaluation, then can somebody please, for the love of football, tell me how we're crazy by just pointing out the obvious?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because you're listening to people who are paid to get people to listen to media, and versus people.
That's not
Hold
right,
on, let me finish.
DC.
Let me finish because there's some validity in it. And then I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen to it, but there's a difference between if I'm a media person, I'm gonna look at football different from if I'm a head coach trying to keep my job.
If
So while I
Shedeur did
understand,
poorly in these, if Shedeur did poorly, would somebody not say it?
no.
If Dylan Gabriel was putting up the numbers that Shedeur was putting up, you think we would be out here talking about Shedeur's numbers instead of Dylan Gabriel's number?
No, personally, I think y'all be sitting there saying, but probably we would still be saying, I don't care if Shedeur is better. I mean, let's just go ahead and be real with it. I'm saying this from this standpoint.
I'm not saying, look, do you want me to play the audio again? This isn't me saying this. I'm just
in their voluntary minicamp, because you'll recall we talked about Shedeur Sanders. Guys, it's much the same as what we saw in their voluntary minicamp. Because
when he said much the same, that means whatever he did in that, it's the same that he's doing now.
You'll recall we talked about on this show. Day one of Shedeur during rookie minicamp, lit it up. 7 of 9, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks.
Let's say that's Dylan Gabriel. If you're saying we're making this up, if you're saying, Harry, you don't know that, Quinn Lito, you said, Harry, you don't know that. If we're saying that, shouldn't somebody have the numbers from these OTAs for Dylan also?
Mary would. Mary Kay
Absolutely.
She'd be light.
Right, but
Mary
the point
Kay
I'm
should
trying
be
to
all over it.
Right, but the point is you're going to have people that are going to be negative and skeptical, highly skeptical of Shedeur. But the point I'm trying to say is,
I don't care about that. I just care about the numbers. Just
I know, but what I'm saying, I'm trying. What I'm trying. But this is what I'm sitting here trying to say, Harry, is that we're trying to make this a numbers-driven game, and everybody that's ever played football, and you know this, JR, you know this, Ty, you know this, Wild Dog, they'll say stats are for chumps. The point is that there may be other things that they're seeing that they don't see at the moment to say, even if they say, I think Shedeur is better, but I still have to take this path. Because looking better now is different than looking what you're going to look like when pads are on and you're going 100 miles per hour. So it's not saying that Shedeur isn't bad. It's just basically saying is when we listen to the media people, they're going to tell us one thing, but the people that this is their job, is their livelihood, they got to put a team on there. They may be seeing something, or at least they're playing in a way where they're at a waiting see. And I am at a waiting see.
Gabriel cannot see the field
over the line. Exactly.
If Dylan Gabriel cannot see the field
he
where
guys
see the
have
field. Shorts on,
Let's
right?
stop that now.
You're
Stop
telling
that now.
me that
Stop that now.
Hold on, DC.
No. You're not gonna sit here and tell
that
me. You're not gonna sit here and tell me that this guy played with 6'5", won the Big Ten, and you're gonna sit here and tell me
DC.
Okay.
DC. What I'll say.
Hey, hold on, Gerald. Look.
Of Shedeur during rookie minicamp, lit it up. 7 of 9, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks.
DC, those numbers are the numbers that Shedeur put up.
Yes.
Okay. Dylan Gabriel should have similar numbers.
You're making it too much of a binary argument because you're trying to say.
No. I'm just trying to tell you.
Finish.
I know
because you said that before.
Dylan Gabriel is not in a different league. He ain't He's not playing with different human beings here.
But the point I'm trying to say to you is that you're making it a solely stat-driven thing. And yes, you are, because you keep quoting official tipping activity numbers and saying he should be way better.
Here's the point I'm trying to make. Let me get out the point. Here's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
they're both on the same team, and they're both getting reps from these same people, right?
Yep.
So once we get to this point where, okay, you're trying, y'all want to jump to, oh, it's going to look so different when you got the team running at you with pads on. It's going to look different. Okay, fine. If we say
It's
that
gonna
about
look worse for
Shedeur,
Dylan.
if we
It will
say
look
that about
worse.
Shedeur, we got to say the same thing about Dylan. So you tell me, if he can't put these numbers up, right, when they're
And
being
shorts and
tackled,
shirts.
when they're being tackled in shorts, somewhere
It's
there's a
gonna
pause
look worse
there.
in pads.
Right. You're telling me that Dylan Gabriel, all of a sudden, from somewhere, his magical skills are going to come alive and Shadeur's going to lose his? That don't make sense.
That's
It
a
don't,
fan
DC.
talking. The point. Let me
DC,
cook. Let me
come
cook
on
y'all.
now.
Let me cook you for a second. Hold on one
How
second
you
now.
going to cook me? I'm just saying if you are the same, if you are on the same team playing with the same guys, the second you put those pads on, it makes you a little different. So that means your vision is going to be skewed because you got that helmet on or they got the pads on. So now they look a little bigger. So any issues you had when they didn't have those pads on are only going to exacerbate.
Yeah, but
So it ain't going to be that much different for Shedeur than it is.
But the point I'm gonna get to you and the JR and the Tim I'm pushing back is that you guys are right now trying to funnel this argument into a Shedeur versus Gabriel. I'm not doing that. That's y'all are doing it. When I'm sitting up here saying
Whoa,
to you,
that's what it's supposed to be, though.
no, it's not because
it's a quarterback competition.
It's a competition.
Listen to but you're making it
It's a
about
quarterback competition.
no,
They are the two
you're making
rookies.
you're making it about one QB because that ain't his only competition. Like it or not, Gabriel, you can beat Gabriel
40
and
years old is
still
not going to last in the league for that much longer. He's
you
out
can
next
beat.
year. Next year,
But the
he's
point,
gone.
but what I'm saying is y'all are using all the information, and a lot of it is some is accurate, and some of it is just of an opinionated. We're talking about more so
There's
from
no opinion here. There is no
What's the
opinion
opinion
here.
when
It's
they say
asking
he
you a
went
direct.
7-9?
the
Somebody
the
counted that.
the point I'm trying to say,
This
JR,
is
is not
our opinion. That's why I keep
okay.
telling you we didn't say that.
Okay then, and if that's the case, then if this is what y'all are saying, then now you have to answer it because you're sitting here saying all the numbers say that Shedeur is way better. So then you tell me why haven't they designated you start getting first team reps now and you are a QB1 right now?
That's
Why they
where
not
we
doing it?
are.
I'll
Now
answer
we
it.
get here.
I'll answer. This is my answer to this. It may sound lewd or it may sound irrational, but this is my answer.
They are some
The
haters.
Brown, no, not that. The Browns, like
That's an
Wild
opinion.
Dog said, they poo-pooed the bed. They made a mistake. Whoever was number one on their board, whether it was Cam Ward and they knew they didn't have a shot in Hades to get Cam Ward. So then you got Dylan Gabriel as your two quarterback on your board. Who's doing the evaluation process? What went wrong in the evaluation process for Dylan Gabriel to be the number two quarterback on your board? That seems pretty irrational thinking. And then so now you have to go into camp. You have to go through the OTA periods, giving Dylan Gabriel that opportunity where you drafted him. Because if you bring in your fifth round guy, or heavens forbid, it would have been an undrafted guy, and you put him above Dylan, then it's like, what are y'all really doing? Do y'all deserve to have this job? Are you competent to still lead this organization if I'm the owner, Jimmy Haslam? Because it's nothing that you can tell me that will get better. You're not drafting a 5'8" quarterback to be a franchise guy.
He's
He
not
didn't put
5'8".
up
Come on
two.
now. Come on. If
He
we're gonna do the
is.
numbers, he
Look
is
it
not
up.
5'8". I did
He's
look it up. He is
5'8".
not 5'8".
He's
No, he is
he's
not.
five. You're not drafting a 5'8" guy to be your franchise
He's
quarterback.
not
He didn't put
5'8".
up Tua. He didn't put up Tua numbers in college. He didn't do
But
a
he's
Tua
not 5'8".
Tagovailoa type situation. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you go out of your way to draft this guy Dylan Gabriel for what? And it leads me back to what Wild Dog said and what I said at the beginning. They made a mistake in the evaluation process. Who was your number one? Whether it's Cam Ward, I think it was Shedeur Sanders. now with this brotherhood of GM and coaches and everything like that, you know they share information. Hey, this what kind of went down with this what kind of went down with this. Because at the end of the day, if Andrew Berry got fired or Kevin Stefanski got fired, they're gonna be looking for a landing spot. So you can't burn your people that you talk to or spurn your people that you talk to and then expect them to welcome you with open arms with a job. Like
But
that's
the
not gonna
flaw,
happen.
but the flaw in your argument is that I'm saying this is that it is obvious the Browns were not looking for a franchise QB this draft. That's why they traded a lot of stuff so they
How
can
can
pick
you
up
say
things
it's
next year.
obvious? What was
So
obvious
so
about it?
Because
they could have
they were in
drafted
the first
any
round
other
and they drafted
quarterback.
back. Well, hold on one second, because here's the thing, and here's the tendency I think with the argument. We make it Dylan versus Shedeur, even though it's Shedeur, all of them is a QB competition. The second,
It's only two competition. The two
we're
rookies. That's it.
we're lasering in on that and not realizing that it was 30 some other teams that did not had the chance to pick them and did not pick them
That's
for
not
some
true.
reason.
You come on, DC. You can't say it's 30 some teams because Kansas City not looking for a quarterback. The
You
Eagles
well,
not looking for the Texans. So
but
you have to
the
really
Raiders
break
could
it
have
down to
used
say
the Raiders could have
what
used a QB. Well, his mentor is at
the
the Raiders,
yeah
and they didn't pick
yeah
him.
the Raiders could have used a QB, but they also signed who to a big contract this offseason. So
Geno
were they
Smith.
really
I
in the
understand
market
that.
for yeah? So were they really in the market for a quarterback? Because they didn't pick up a quarterback later in the draft. They didn't go later in the draft to pick up another quarterback. So
Right,
obviously they were not in the market. We
but
assumed as fans that'd be a good fit, but that's our assumption as fans. I didn't hear any draft analysis say, "Well, Shadeur Sanders landing with the Raiders." It was
it
all the
was
draft
at the beginning of the
analysis
year. At the beginning of the year,
at the
I
be-
was sitting up there
at the
saying
beginning
that he
of
was
the
projected to
year.
go 8 with. He was
At
projected
the
to be
In
beginning
the
of
with
beginning
the
of the
at the
Raiders.
year, he
be,
was
at
also
the
number
beginning of
one.
the year, everybody
He,
was he was he was the number
he
one
was
quarterback at
QB
the
number
beginning of the
one
year.
in the beginning of the year.
Okay, so how
So
do y'all
after they
know?
go in,
So how do y'all know? How do you, here's what I'm saying is that no, there wasn't. Were the Browns in need of a QB?
yes,
Okay,
they
so
made it known they wanted
so
a
the
QB.
Browns
They took two of them
right. So the Browns were in need of a QB, and they had the second pick of the first round. But instead of getting Travis or a QB, they traded back. How does that make sense?
economics. It makes sense because of economics. You want to have what $70 million tied up in one room? That's crazy. So yeah, I can see them saying, "Well, we need a QB number one, but we also need draft picks because we got $45 million being shelved."
Right,
Deshaun Watson not seeing the field this year. So if
right,
you draft a quarterback number two and
You
you gotta
can't.
guarantee him $40 million,
Right.
that's $85 million tied up in one room and 45 of it not even playing.
So
so
you
then
can.
that's
That
why
don't
when they
make
weren't looking
sense. You
for,
wouldn't do
yeah,
that as a business, man.
but that means but that also you just again you cooked you at that time. You
Oh,
cooked
he
some
cooking.
JR
How is
Boxing
it?
because
That's what
No,
you
because
just said.
they were in the need
because
for a quarterback because they took
but
two DC.
but the
But why
point
did they
you're
take
saying
Dylan
is
over Shador?
but
That remains to be
But
seen. I don't know why.
the point I'm saying to you is this. You can't say they needed a because we were talking about the foundation of what we were saying is a franchise QB. They did not have the money to get a franchise QB. They picked a QB, but they did
Did
not
they have the
have
money
the
for a
money.
first rounder QB?
But they chose not. Again, this is the point I'm
I'm
trying to get
asking.
y'all
That's
to
the
see.
question. The question is, did they have the money for a first round QB?
No, they
No,
did
no,
not
they
have the
didn't.
money for a first round QB. They
That's
did
why
not
they
have
couldn't
money
choose
this
Yeah,
year.
Shador.
they don't.
But the point is that JR asked the question, who would they pick? The point I'm trying to sit here and say is this. It's not one time if I sit back and say Shedeur is not a great quarterback. And let me make sure I say for the
Oh,
record
don't say
that I
that
do
again.
think
Come
that he
on, man.
has the
Come
NFL.
on now.
But what y'all
I don't want to
but
keep hearing that
right,
nonsense.
but see, but I don't want to keep hearing it because what I'm fighting against y'all to do this thing, and this is the
Just
thing that we
stick
do
to
all
the
the time.
numbers, my
I'm
guy.
sticking, but you can't just stick
You're
to the
not sticking
numbers.
to the numbers, man.
You are too focused on the numbers because at the end of the
But that's
day
the
is
only thing we got. What else you
that's
got?
not the only thing we got.
That is the
It's
only
not.
thing we got.
It's not the only
The
thing
film
we
don't
got.
lie.
What
The
else you
film
got?
doesn't lie.
You know what I would be interested to see when it comes to these reps? How many of these incompletion reps that Dylan Gabriel has comes from under center when he has to drop back? Because everything he did at Oregon was shotgun. Everything Shedeur did at Colorado was shotgun. But Shedeur is what, 6'1", 6'2", maybe with cleats on or something like that. Dylan Gabriel is actually like 5'11", something like that. He under 6 feet.
But
So I would be
his
interested.
cleats are padded.
Yeah,
Ye-
I would be interested to know how many of the incompletions for Dylan Gabriel are coming from under shotgun when he has to go through a whole process. I mean, not from shotgun, from center, taking the ball from center, from snap, snapping it, dropping back, and still seeing over because that takes away from your vision and your progression if you can't see over the line.
But
Hence, that's
listen,
why
bro,
you look at the Miami Dolphins, Tua don't never go under center. He
yeah, but
always in the
Shotgun.
shotgun.
right, but here's the
And
point.
he only under the center when they handing the ball off.
Right, but here's the point. I'm not trying to have the argument that if Shadeur is better than Dylan because I'm on record for saying that I think that Shadeur is a better quarterback
Yeah,
than
with
Dylan.
friends like you.
What I'm trying to get y'all understand is because we are in this thing where you're trying to have a primarily optimistic for Shadeur, and I get it. It's to a point where you are trying to look at these numbers and all the things that says automatically right now this dude should not only be QB1, but some of you are saying he should be that he should be the franchise QB. And as all these things are moving around because they're trying to set him up, and I don't see that, especially with an organization. Main thing I'm trying to sit here and say the Browns is a mess. This is 20 years that has been going on. So for me to sit here and believe that all these things that they're doing all these things to make him the greatest thing since Brady, I don't see that because I don't trust how the Browns been managing it.
All right, so let's play a little bit more of this interview because we haven't gotten.
They look at him as far as progression. He's getting his reps, and then eventually, depending on what happens with people ahead of him so far in the depth chart, something can happen. I'm not rooting against him at all. I'm just saying people who are pushing him aren't being honest with where he is and who he's playing against. That's all.
I think what we're seeing is the light from the organization, from a few of his teammates so far, is what we've been reporting. And you're getting people who are extremely excited about. I think they're getting a better grasp of his personality. We had some of the players come out, some of the folks in the personnel department have already said, man, he's super confident, but not in a cocky way. Some other players, oh man, he's the joy to be around. And then he's doing what he's always done, which if you remember, he had a 74% completion percentage last year.
Just in beating good teams.
He is throwing the ball and throwing it accurately. So,
if we say, okay, what was that percentage in college? That percentage was the best percentage in his class. The most accurate quarterback in his class. Let's just make sure we understand that. So if you get those numbers and you're being projected to go number one, somebody had to sabotage it. And that's what's happening. So now we're having an argument about fifth round and we can't get not again.
So hold on, wait a minute now. Let's go with that. So what you're telling me is this: is that somehow, someway, Shadeur was predicted to be first round, and then somehow in this he wound up falling to fifth round. And I'm not saying that Shadeur isn't a great
man?
QB,
Like, you don't watch the
again,
draft.
I'm on record. I thought he would go in the first round or early second. And then now we get to all this, and no other teams pick him. All these other folks pick, and then you're telling me that he gets to the Brown for whatever motivation it is that he dropped in the draft. Now he's gonna get to the Browns out of all teams, and then everything is gonna magically come together. If they tried to sabotage them, they probably aren't done.
What are you talking about?
Well, you're saying that, well, somehow he dropped all this kind of stuff. I'm just sitting here saying that at the end of the day is that something happened. Shadeur is where he is, and I think we have to focus on it. And I know that people my argument is this: the foundation of it is take a wait and see standpoint versus looking at all these things and already saying this guy should be my QB1. As a fan, say it as a fan, but when we're sitting here using the data, especially OTA data.
Okay, hold up.
I mean, again.
All right. Listen, here we go. Flacco is 40-something years old. How many years are you giving Flacco? I'm going to take this step by step. How many years are you giving Flacco? Wild Dog, how many years? Just give me a number. Wild Dog, if you're here, give me a number. JR Boxing, how many years?
As a starter?
How many years is Flacco going to be in the NFL? Just give me a number.
2.
2 years. JR Boxing, how many years?
1.
DC, how many years?
1. And he plays half the season. He don't play the whole season.
Okay, so he's only good for 17 games. I mean, he's only good for like 9 games. Okay, we're not giving him 17 games. He's good for 9 games. If he makes it to 9.
Right. I agree.
Right. So in that case, we're taking Flacco off the board.
Take him.
We all agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because 1 to 2 years is nothing. Right? He's done.
Agreed.
Right? Kenny Pickett. How many years are we giving Kenny Pickett in the NFL as a starter? Wild Dog, give me a number.
When is his rookie contract up?
How many years are we giving Pickett as a starter in the NFL?
We got 1, 2, 1.
1
He's
year.
usually 3 years for a rookie contract, so 1 year.
1 year. JL Boxing, how many numbers? I mean, what's the number?
None. 0.
You're not giving him at least 1 year? Let's say this year?
Nope. He will not
how
start
many
for the
years are you
Browns
giving
this year.
Kenny Pickett as a starter in the NFL?
I don't give him a full year. I'm not
we're
saying the
taking him
Browns
off
won't
the
start
board.
him. I'm not saying the Browns won't start him.
We're
but I'm not
taking
giving
Kenny
it.
Pickett off the board.
Okay, go for it.
Right?
I would have no problem with that.
Tim, I understand. Okay. So you see how simple this argument just got? Remember, you're having an argument. You're having a problem with us pinning Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur head to head. You're having a problem with that. But if we're taking those 2 guys off the board in year number 2, next year they're gone. Those guys are no longer there. So right now, this organization has to focus on these 2 rookies because that's their asset. That's what they got.
Okay, you ready for me to give you a contradicting thing?
Wait, I'm not done with this. I'm setting this up. Between Dylan Gabriel, who they got, and Shedeur Sanders, who is your starter between them? Wild Dog, who starts, Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur?
I'm just going to follow the narrative. It's got to be Dylan Gabriel. He's got to fall on his face first.
Okay. JR Boxing, between Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur, who starts?
12. Give me Shadeur.
DC, between Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur, who starts?
I can't pick.
You have to pick.
I really can't.
Look, man, you gotta pick one.
See something else.
You gotta pick one. You got Dylan Gabriel, who played at your Oregon. He played against 6'9", 7-foot dudes, right? They were 500 pounds with straight muscle, like no fat. You know what I'm saying? Like 700 pounds, no muscle. I mean, all muscle.
700 pounds, no muscle is wild.
700 pounds, all muscle.
I mean, if you want me to sit here and just pull off something off the top of my head and not actually have seen more data than, again, official
Forget about
tickling
data.
activity,
You saw them in college. Let's go with the data in college. Who starts? You picked. You are the Cleveland Browns organization. We just took 4 quarterbacks and we dwindled it down to 2 quarterbacks. You already know what they did in college. Who is your starter?
Dylan has a better resume if I'm
All
going
right,
by
so Dylan is
college.
your guy.
Whoa. Better resume
Yeah,
how?
he does.
Dylan
How
Come
does
Gabriel
on.
he
is
have
his
a better
guy. He's
resume?
going with
How?
Dylan.
Come on now,
How?
JR. Come on
No,
now.
because DC,
Come
Hey,
you
on now.
said
the
DC,
man
Come on now.
you
pivoted
said
and made a
stats
decision.
don't
The man
mean
picked the pivot.
you said stats don't mean everything. So I'm trying to figure out what part of the resume are you including to say that Dylan Gabriel has a better resume than Shedeur?
He has been up against better competition and won. And that makes his resume. It's not so much that Shadeur has better numbers, and I think Shadeur is a more accurate passer. But if you're just going to force me into a decision, which is what we're doing,
Okay.
not then I would say. But if for with that parameter, but if you were just going to tell me to pick, I think what I would do is because we would probably be neither one of them will start at the beginning of the year. I probably would go with Shadeur over Dylan.
Whoa. Hold on. You said that
Stick
Dylan
with
Gabriel
Dylan.
he played against better competition when he had the best competition on the best
He
players
played.
on his team.
Is
Like
is 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 it a lie to say that he
the
played
team
against better competition?
the team when you compare the teams to
Right.
teams,
You
when you
got to
say
compare
Oregon,
apples and apples. It's not
yeah,
like you
Oregon,
cannot compare
Oregon to
Oregon's competition
Indiana.
versus
Indiana had a good
Colorado's
record.
competition.
Yeah, Oregon had a good record. Indiana had a good record, but who's the better team? You want to go player for player all the way down. Who got the better constructed roster? Dylan Gabriel played with
Oregon.
exactly. He played with a loaded roster.
So how does that change the fact that he played better competition? I'm trying to figure that out. It's
What?
true. It's not
So
saying that
you said
you can say that Shadeur may have been more handicapped because he had the lack of talent. That's a true statement. But
no.
if I'm talking about
When I say
competition,
when I say competition, the only team Oregon played against this year was Ohio State.
and what happened? They beat him.
Who else did they play against when it came down to competition in the Big 12? Like I
Did they
said,
play? Did they play Penn State?
Indiana had a good record, but can you say well their roster was like heavily like compiled with talent? Because a lot of their talent came from a G5 school.
Right, but then you also if you're going to go that route, then you also have to sit back and say, is that where was Colorado's offense against a 6-6 Nebraska? Come
All,
on,
all I'm saying is you're saying that they played against better talent. So I'm
they
like,
did.
they played against better talent comparable to what? They played against one talented team. But Oregon was the team with
Penn
the
State
most
wasn't talented.
talent.
Penn State wasn't talented.
Okay, that's another team with talent. Yes, they
Hey,
were talented.
let's move on because when you're saying Oregon had a better talent, you're basically saying then why wouldn't they have the better QB? Let's just move on.
Exactly. You don't have to be the most talented QB to be on Oregon's team. Stetson Bennett won 2 national championships. Was he the most talented quarterback? No. He played with all the talent. All the
Bro,
talent was
I
around
don't
him.
say,
All
bro.
you got to do is manage
Yo,
what's
And so
around
did
you.
Will won a natty, and nobody said a word about Will.
right. And here go the
Yeah.
thing. Right, but here go the thing. So did Baker Mayfield was the boss, but guess where he went to die?
To Cleveland.
Exactly. Now he's at Tampa. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all think I'm dogging Shadeur. I'm not
No,
dogging
no, but
Shadeur. What I'm saying is the
if you're
Browns is a
based on
mess.
your narrative, right? Based on your
Narrative.
narrative, if you're
No,
talking
they don't.
about that talent, then the person that won the natty should be getting a lot more press than Shedeur is, because he was 5th round and he's getting all the press.
I will
I'm
sit here
talking.
and tell you
I'm
that
talking.
Will Howard as well as what's the guy that was at Syracuse escaping me. A lot of them is that I thought Shadeur was better than those. The only people, Harry, the 2 quarterbacks that I said at
Is
the
Shedeur
beginning that
better than Will?
And
Will?
then
yes,
look, this is my thing. This is
But
my
he was
thing
with
here
Will
too.
got beat. Put it like this: Will got beat out by freaking Kansas State QB. Why is it
AJ.
right? He got beat out by AJ, but because he had a good team, I get what you're saying, JR, because Will Howard was a benefit of going to a team that was loaded. I get
Yeah,
what
and
you're
Exactly. That's the
saying.
guess
whole
what?
point.
Guess where he came from? The Big 12, where they say, well, the Big 12 wasn't talented. That's what I'm saying. So if you take a player, because it's not like Dylan Gabriel was in the Big 10 his whole career. He wasn't in the
Did
Big
Will did
12. He
but
was
did
in a
Will
G.
Howard beat Texas?
He was at a G5 school to start off. Then he went to Oklahoma and didn't do anything at Oklahoma. And then he left Oklahoma to go play a big boy football all of a sudden because they never considered Big 12 big boy football. So when you said, well, he had the better record, he had a better record than Shedeur.
Yes.
But when you say who's the better player, when you say stats don't count, okay, who was a better player? Who had a better completion percentage? Who had more passing yards? Who had least amount of interceptions?
Who has the most
Things like
touchdowns in NCAA history? Come on, dude.
most
We can do that. Let's
touchdowns,
do it.
most sacks, like things like that. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, what are you saying that his resume was better than Shadeur's?
Well,
All you said was
he's the
he
holder
played
of
with
the.
better talent.
He has the.
He
He
played
has.
with better talent for 1 year, or played
Dylan
against good
Gabriel,
talent for 1 year.
Dylan Gabriel had more Heisman votes. Can we move on?
Yeah.
So we
He
got
had more. He had more Heisman votes. Who won the Heisman? Wild Dog.
Dude, I'm just saying these good old boys. They don't care about all this stuff, man. I'm just saying.
No,
I'm just saying.
Wild Dog. Who won the Heisman?
Dylan Gabriel was on national TV, a finalist for the Heisman. That's enough weight right there. That's enough weight right there for a lot of GMs and quarterback room.
He was a Heisman finalist because of what?
Because of Oregon's team.
Because of Oregon. Because it just simply wasn't play on the field. Because even people say the same thing about Travis. Travis didn't have the most receptions. He didn't have the most touchdowns. He didn't have the most interception. Why did Travis win a Heisman? This is the debate that everybody said, oh, well, Ashton Gentry should have won it because he had this many yards. Travis won a Heisman because he was on TV the most.
He won
it
because he won it because he played both positions.
He's an amazing player. He's an amazing talent, but he was on TV the most for the voters to see.
And I don't want to make this into a Heisman discussion. I was just trying to make a point so we can move on because look, it was Hunter and Gentry, and then there's a huge gap in everybody else. Let's just get that clear.
But we got to also understand that if you would take
Dylan Gabriel on national TV as a finalist on the Heisman, that's why he was a third round pick.
I understand that, but also keep in mind, I've said this before. DC, this is your terminology. If you take a serviceable quarterback from the Big Ten, a serviceable quarterback from the Big 12 or the ACC, you put them on a stacked team that has a good offensive line and a good defensive line or good defense. They can play complementary football. They should do what Dylan did at Oregon.
Exactly. Cam Ward
it
going
should
to
not
Miami.
be like, oh, because
They
he
won 10
played.
games.
Because if you take Shedeur and you put him with one of these stacked teams, I guarantee you the numbers will show much different because Shedeur is that accurate. Like you can't say, oh, it's the same argument that you're saying. Well, just wait till we put the pads on and people start running real fast and he's gonna buckle up. Like, how? Because the same thing
difference between
Dylan,
the NC. But
the
there's a
same
difference.
thing that Dylan did not do when they had the shorts on, he ain't just gonna all of a sudden be able to do when people are coming at him that fast. So it gotta work both ways. Like I feel like the argument is always just a tad short of, oh, you know what? Let them put those pads on, and Shadeur's talent is gonna dissipate. But everybody else's talent is gonna up. But that's the insinuation.
That's not the insinuation.
If you say, let's wait till we see the pads on, that's what you're insinuating. That
that's not what I'm
he's
insinuating.
doing without the pads, he ain't gonna be able to do no more.
That's not what I'm saying. You can't
But then what is the insinuation?
You can't it was already said. You can't read mindset and motives. What I'm simply having is a football conversation of saying, I don't see how you guys. Well, I do see how you do it. Let me change that. It's that I'm not saying that Shedeur is a bad quarterback at all. What I'm saying is that the game changes because they're rookies and because it's the Browns and how they develop. That's all I'm saying. It's too many variables where I've seen the Browns get good QBs in and fail.
My questions. I'm saying. You made the statement and says, let's put the pads on and things are going to be different. So that's what I'm saying. If he can do it in shorts, then and Dylan cannot do it in shorts, then whatever when they put those pads on, the numbers should not be like in favor of Dylan. That's what I'm saying. It's not like Dylan's game is going to elevate with the pads on, and Shedeur is going to dissipate.
Only thing to me, for this, the outside looking in, only thing that Dylan has over Shedeur is he's a better athlete. That's it. Because
I push back on that. What do you mean better athlete?
A better athlete when it comes to the utilization of his legs, like scrambling ability and things like that.
Dylan is better.
Dylan
is better.
No.
I'm gonna safely assume that Dylan runs faster than Shedeur. I'm gonna safely assume that after watching Dylan Gabriel through college football, I'm gonna safely assume that Dylan Gabriel runs faster than Shedeur, so he could potentially elude an NFL defender quicker than Shedeur. That's the only thing I'll give Dylan.
Dylan is not a better
quarterback. I'm not saying quarterback. I'm just saying better athlete when it comes to
I know what you mean by when you say athlete.
But not quarterback.
I cannot take the athletic thing and put it on Dylan and say Dylan is a better athlete. Shedeur Sanders played through a broke back mountain. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said broke back mountain. Shedeur Sanders.
No diddy, dog. Woo-wee.
Whoa.
Shedeur Sanders played with his back broke, and he kept playing. That's athletic. That's athletic. Let's not make Shedeur was getting sacked and Shedeur kept getting up.
Well, Harry B, that's tenacity and grit.
But that's what an athlete has.
But it does play. It does play in part to it.
Right.
But I would
has tenacity and grit. That's an athlete.
Yeah. But I would tend to agree with JR because if I had I would say Dylan's a better athlete, but Shedeur is a better quarterback.
And
you're talking about a quarterback position. That's not a wide receiver. It's not a running back. It's not a DB. There's not a requirement. So athleticism is a secondary attribute when it comes to being a quarterback.
Pause for a second, though. Pause for a second.
I can't give you that. I'm sorry. I can't really give you that. If you say, okay, if we're talking about athleticism, we're taking the totality of what an athlete is. For me to just give that to Dylan, if you say, okay, he runs a little faster, then maybe. But if the other encompassing things about what an athlete is to give it to Dylan, no way.
Okay. I'll concede to that. You're right, Harry.
No way.
We'll say he runs faster.
Right. If you say he runs faster, I give you that. But
just trying to look up his
grit to be able to get up.
That I don't know. That I don't know. So I'll give you that. I'll concede to that.
And get up and still want to play, to have that mentality, like a better athlete? Nah.
And Harry, and I have this opinion, and it's no knock on him, but sometimes I just see it, and I'm rarely ever wrong if I think about it. But I'm not calling the man a Mr. Glass, but I got a feeling that once Dylan gets hit one good time, he's going to be out.
I don't know.
You think he's going to be in that tour mode?
So regardless of what happens, regardless of how it goes down, Dylan's availability is going to be limited anyway. So it's going to be opportunity if Shedeur is still with the Browns and not traded or whatever.
Well, that's a better athlete. That means Shedeur's the better athlete because you got to be, your body got to be able to withstand the punishment of getting hit. That's an athlete. You cannot extrapolate. You can't take that away from being an athlete.
The best ability is available.
I don't know that, but it would look like from the eyeball test that Dylan is a fast runner. But Dylan he participated at the NFL Combine, but he didn't run a 40. So I don't know what his official 40 time is because he didn't run at the Combine.
But he played in the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, nor do we know what Shedeur's 40 time is because he didn't run a 40 time either. But that doesn't matter. But typically, we usually equate athleticism to people who run faster or who presume to be stronger and stuff like that. So you're right, Harry. I cannot make that presumption because you made some very hard-hitting facts to say it does take a lot to get hit, to get back up. You got to be an athlete to do that.
Yeah, you got to be an
athlete. So I could say from the eyeball test, it looks like Dylan runs faster, so maybe he'll be able to elude a pass rush better than Shedeur or
look, I don't
scramble
even
better than
know.
Shedeur.
I don't even know if we can give him the faster thing. We've seen Shedeur outrun some DBs. We've seen that. Maybe Dylan looked quicker.
What DB did Shedeur outrun?
Oh, you didn't see the clips? You didn't see the clips that I put up? Also, you didn't see when he was outrunning in the was it the Celebration Bowl at Jackson State? You didn't see him outrunning those DBs when he got into the secondary and scoring like a 50-yard touchdown on his feet.
With Dylan Gabriel, I would almost say it's agility, which is a combination of quickness and.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, we can't just give him faster because we don't know that. But I'm telling you,
we don't know if he looks faster from the eyeball test, but it could be agility. He definitely looks more agile.
It could be deceiving. But he could be more agile and more swift. You feel me? So that's a little different. But
that's not me saying that he's better. Like, Shedeur is hands down better than Dylan Gabriel. That's why I'm like, DC, where do you say his resume
I don't know what
is better? That's why I'm like, what?
But
DC, DC, do you want your plate to go?
I ain't going nowhere because at the end of the day is his resume is
you got
better.
cooked, bro.
Wild Dog said it. I didn't get cooked on that hibachi grill.
Yeah, you got cooked, bro. You want your plate to go. You gotta get a plate. You gotta get
the resume.
What size do you want,
resume?
DC, what size do you want? We got Heisman. Look, we got what size do you want? We got first Super Bowl. Let me get on the record. Who wins the Super Bowl first? Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur? Wild Dog. This is your size, DC.
Super Bowl.
First to win the Super Bowl.
Who wins the Super Bowl first? Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel? Who wins the Super Bowl first?
Oh man, this is real loaded because Dylan could be at the end of the bench in flip flops and win a Super Bowl, dog. You got to clarify that question for me, dog. Be more specific. As a starter, who is more likely to carry their team as a quarterback in the Super Bowl?
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you for clarifying that.
I'm not trying to manipulate your question, but that's way too loaded, dog.
Kenny Pickett got a Super Bowl ring. Kenny Pickett has a Super Bowl ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure do.
Okay.
Got one with the Eagles.
So we cleared it up.
And Pickett should be third string. Pickett should be third string, and he got a ring. So, woo-wee, dog.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Wild Dog. Thank you for clearing that up for me. Who carries their team and wins the Super Bowl before the other person? Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel? Wild Dog, what's your pick?
Oh, Shedeur Sanders.
Gerald Boxing, who's your pick?
Give me 12.
All right. DC, who's your pick?
Shedeur.
Oh, wow.
I actually would love to see, but I don't think it's with the Browns, though. Just being honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's not with the Browns.
No, we got the Browns, dog. I know everybody's like, oh, be QB number 1. I'm like, no, be QB number 2. Get up out of there. I'm like, get the hell up out of there, dog.
But Wild Dog, that's the point I'm trying to set. The thing is that I am not anti-Shedeur. I'm anti-Shedeur Browns. I'm on record saying that. No, if I had my way, it would be Flacco, Pickett, Shedeur third, and then Shedeur gets to play. And then just like they did with Fields, he gets to find him another place, or they use him as trade value to be able to bolster their team when they go and get their QB. And I would love to see Dylan wind up going down to Miami and backing up Tua and be done with it.
But what if Shedeur wins a Super Bowl with the daggone Browns?
Man, Terry.
I don't find that to be
Terry.
You don't find no responsibility in that at all?
Hey,
Harry, no.
As a Steelers fan, dog. I will put on a Brown jersey and run down the street butt naked in my undies screaming, Cleveland Browns.
No way.
No.
Hey, look, Cleveland had the best O-line a couple of years ago. Cleveland now has a viable running back in Judd, right? Right?
The PFF for their team is How many NFL teams are there, Harry?
It's
Don't do that.
32,
Look,
and
we're
they
not.
last.
Forget
Hey,
about what people say
Exactly.
about your team, because people said the same thing about Colorado and they eclipsed that. I'm just saying, think about the pieces that Cleveland Brown can go out and get once they make their decision for Shedeur to be their quarterback. It
the
is
only
not.
thing, the only thing I believe in is Brown's defense.
Right. So if you have a Browns defense and now you got a viable quarterback in Shedeur, because we don't believe that that Dylan Gabriel, if it was between Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur, it'll be Shedeur. Let's just hands down. I don't care what you say. If you now have your franchise quarterback in Shedeur and you start building around him, you give him you already have a good defense. You give him a decent O-line to protect him. He has a good running back. Give him some. Go out and go get a few of those Colorado wide receivers. Shedeur now has a little bit more capital, and he starts making like, hey, yo, let's get this wide receiver. I already know he can ball out. You get a few wide receivers, it ain't that hard to fathom. Then
You
It
missing one thing.
is
You missing one
Harry B,
thing,
because
Harry.
the Browns are behind the 8 ball, which is Watson's contract. You got to get that gorilla off your back first.
But I
You
mean,
missing one thing.
they're
Other
not going to
thing.
get rid of him this season.
I mean, but they still have to pay that money out. That'd be dead cap money.
I
They
mean,
still got to fall under the salary cap.
Yeah, they still got to pay that money out, dog.
That
That's why we
contract
got to get Shedeur out of there.
guaranteed 230 over 5 years. However they want to pay it, they still got to pay it. But the one thing you missed, Harry, was a head coach in the
You don't think
NFL.
Stefanski is good enough to lead them?
Heck no.
How
No.
long? Wait, how long has Stefanski been with the Browns?
I think this is his 5th year, coming up on his 5th year.
But didn't they win 11 games? I mean, didn't they win 11 games like not too long ago?
Maybe the first year when Baker was there, I think, or maybe the second year. I'm not a Browns fan, so I don't know per
And
se,
and
but I think he's been there 5 years.
the division was soft.
Big Ben
It
had
ain't
just
soft now.
retired, or
You
the Steelers still didn't know who their quarterback was at that time. Like it was it was a lot of stuff. Lamar Jackson was. Well, I think Lamar Jackson did win the Super Bowl. I'm not Super Bowl, the MVP that year when the Browns won 11 games. I think Lamar Jackson won the MVP that year though.
Yeah,
But
but that
still,
division
Harry.
is tough. That division is
I mean,
tough,
yeah,
JR. It's crazy tough.
Cincinnati that year. Joe Burrow. I want to say he was a rookie, broke his leg or
So what? That's
dislocated his
the
knee,
COVID.
something like
The
that. So I don't
2020
know.
was the COVID year, right?
Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They won 11. They went 11-5. In 2023, just 2023, they went 11-6.
That's why they got Flacco back, because he was the QB at that time.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
what
when
I'm
they
saying.
had got
So
Flacco back
it doesn't seem like they're that far away. I mean, we look at
because they lost to my
2024,
Texans.
right? And we look at
They lost to my Texans
2024.
wild card.
2024, they went 3-14, but we don't know. I don't know why they went 3-14 in 2024. I will have to go back and do my research. But
Because the
And
line sucked.
Harry B, this year they're projected the kind of the consensus projected prospecting number of wins for the Browns going into this year is 5.
Yeah.
so they're just going to win
Harry.
like 2 more games than last year.
Harry,
That's what the professionals are saying. Yeah.
Harry, do you remember when you talk about Shadeur with his broken back? Do you remember the UCLA game where Shadeur was basically might as well just lay down and let folks just fall on him because he was getting sacked so many times?
That's where he broke his back.
Are you saying that this is going to happen to him?
You got to understand, Watson in one game was sacked 7 freaking times. They were on the record to have the most sacks ever in history. So y'all talk about that, but you remember that 4-8 season that a lot of folks still got PTSD from?
Mm-hmm.
You about to see it again if he QB1. And again, you talking about with pros, which by the way, side note, Miles Garrett looks like a freaking beast.
He a tank,
That
man.
dude
Yeah,
was
he a tank.
God. He was killing it because I was watching some of the film because I actually do watch film. So when folks call me a hater and say, "Well, you know what? I'm watching a whole lot of film to make sure my takes are good," but you know how a hater got to find something to hate on. But the
That's
point
right.
being
Because
is that
you be making a whole. You like I ain't saying I don't like Shedeur, but you be making a good argument about the other guys. I'm like, dang, with a
Yeah,
friend like
I,
you,
I ain't
boy.
saying I don't like Shadeur, but he ain't innocent in this. I'm like, whoa.
Hey,
I'm like,
Harry
he
B.
not innocent.
Hey, Harry B. On DC making that point, I'd like to paraphrase the legendary Cleveland Brown Bernie Kosar. Right,
Okay.
Bernie Kosar was. That's the last time the Browns won a division. Just that long ago when Bernie Kosar was at quarterback. Okay.
Sheesh.
Bernie Kosar said that even if you're a football god, he would not like to see a rookie starting at QB1 for the Cleveland Browns, and that he would prefer to see Flacco start the season and then Shedeur come up after that and take over. That's what Bernie Kosar said.
At this point, I'm not even worried about Shedeur being QB number one starting on day number one. But I am saying what I want to say is people got to recognize like they got to make a decision soon, and they got to let us know where these guys are going to fall in the chart, right? I mean, how much longer we got? We don't have that much longer. It's only like 2 months left.
I think what they wind up doing is taking Shador, giving him meaningful snaps near the end of the year or the second half, and then probably using him as trade bait to acquire like a good wide receiver because they really I know Jerry Judy is decent, but they really need that all-star wide receiver to complement whoever's the QB. And I think that
So, wait,
he
you're
goes
thinking
side note.
Shedeur gets traded?
I would not be surprised if that happens. But check this out. Because they did it with Justin Fields and he was a first round draft pick. It happens, Harry. I would say this
I mean,
though.
I know it happens, but when you have a
Right.
talent like Shedeur in the house, you keep those other three guys.
Justin Fields was talented. Can we not say he wasn't?
I'm
He
just saying
absolutely was.
we're not dealing with whoever they had in the past. I'm saying if you're the Cleveland Browns, you know that Flacco is only good for 7 to 9 games.
Yeah, Harry,
You
but you
know
gotta understand
Pickett
this.
is yeah, exactly what his name says. Right? He's gonna get picked.
Right. Right.
Pick man.
And hold on real quick. Wild dog. Wild dog. That's true. He's gonna throw a couple of picks. But right, here go a side note to this wild dog. I actually have a Bernie Kosar football card.
For
That's
real?
how long it go back. Yes, I do. Well, I got them all. I
Shoot.
got Doug Williams. I got
Hey,
you
how much
butt
you
out
want
of
for that
Joe
Doug
Montana,
Williams?
all that good stuff. But anyway,
No, how
yeah,
much you want for that Doug Williams?
You cannot give up that Doug Williams, bro.
I
Hey,
got
Hush,
you.
mind your business,
Doug
Harry B.
Williams.
Mind your business, Harry B. He might have a mortgage
I'm just
payment.
saying, like you can't. That's the Washington Redskins.
What do you
It
think
is
I'm
the
going to
not
do with
giving
it?
Redskins.
up that
What do you think
card.
I'm going to do with it? It's going to go in the vault.
No,
What do you mean?
That's a
they have it.
collectible. He ain't giving that up.
No,
Hey,
it's rookie.
You're not
Yeah,
giving
it's a
up no
rookie.
Doug Williams, bro.
It's his rookie card when he's at Tampa Bay. I
man.
absolutely have it. Yeah, I got a bunch of them though. I got OJ Simpson football cards. I'll tell you
Hey,
something. But at the end of the day,
I even tried to find one with Doug Williams at the Redskins, and I couldn't, boy.
oh,
Boy.
that's hard. There's only one card I don't have that I wish I had, and it's Deion Sanders. I never could find that thing, and now it's worth a ton. But kind of back to it, Bernie Kosar did say he didn't feel it was good for a rookie to start. I did see that interview. He said, let them come in, get the playbook, get stuff down, because it is like drinking out of a fire hose. And I think Shadeur will be fine.
Hey, Waldo, you got some competition. Peter Investor said, DC, how much you want for that Doug Williams?
Yeah, put that mug up for auction, dog. You know what I'm saying? You know? But,
DC about to hit y'all over the head. He gonna be like,
I
man, give
know.
me
Hey,
75,000, something like
side note. Make sure when the final rosters come out, well, after the year, you have to wait till after the year. Tops is gonna come out. We always come out with the whole box with every player. So if you want your Shadeur card, because guess what, you're
yeah,
gonna get
yeah.
you better go and buy one. I'm gonna buy one. I probably will buy a couple of those boxes because that stuff is gonna be worth some serious money. So
that.
just some friendly advice from a card collector.
I mean, I'd be even willing to. I had to go back to Fort Hood and pull up my Warren Moon. I'd even be willing to trade the Warren Moon.
I've got a Warren Moon.
Hey, before
I've
Oh
y'all,
got
well,
one.
before y'all,
I,
tell me you got a Jerry Rice in there.
I
yeah, I got
absolutely have a
a
Jerry Rice. I do
good.
have a Jerry Rice. I have a Joe Montana. I
What?
have
Hey,
Golly.
Lawrence
we gotta get
Taylor.
off of this
I
Hey,
topic.
got
But
one.
tell me
DC,
also you got an Art Monk.
I have an
I
Art Monk.
absolutely have an Art Monk. I do have an Art
Woo!
Art
Monk.
Monk. Hey, DC, I think I can see it in my mind. I think I might have a Deion Sanders card,
Uh-oh,
but
here
it's
comes the trade.
but they're baseball.
Oh,
I love baseball, so
Uh,
I got Deion
I
Sanders
have
baseball card.
I have a Yankee one
Yeah,
for
hey,
that.
I got a
Yeah,
final
yeah,
question
that.
before we get up out of here. It's been a great show. I appreciate you guys. Shadeur gets first team reps when?
doing
after his family leave.
What do you mean?
That's just
Waldo,
what I
I think
see. They're
what do
gonna.
you mean after his family leaves? What does that mean?
If it was me, and the right thing to do was to give Shedeur family leave, and upon returning for family leave, put him in rotation for the first team.
You mean
I don't
like,
know if I like
oh,
how
you
First
mean
that
and
like
sounds.
go see
first
his
and
dad?
yeah,
Wild dog. That don't
because
sound right.
like I said earlier, if it was me and he's doing no reps, it's because well, you got a family situation going on. I don't want you putting anything bad on tape.
man, I don't think they care about that.
I
'Cause
mean,
they
he
like, we
answered that.
paying
He
you.
was asked about that, and he was like, "Look, man, I'm not even talking about that. Y'all, I'm not even saying nothing about pops because y'all. He ain't look.
Yeah.
They ain't saying nothing about pops. Even people been like, "Oh, Deion got to let go and all of that." I'm like, Deion didn't say anything about the Cleveland Browns. He has not said a word about any team that Shadeur is playing for. Nothing.
But like I said, you asked me a question. I'm giving you my honest opinion. You know, whether it's a day or two or whatever, depending on what's going on. You know, because of course we're all in the
Wait,
dark.
you
But
think that's going to affect his performance, or you think his dad's situation is affecting his performance?
no, not necessarily. No,
Wild dog. Well, hold on one second.
because Shadeur
Normally
is
when people are
good as a young
yeah,
man,
but
so it would be the first time that his dad's been sick and he's had to play and get it done. You know, but like I said, I've been with a lot of organizations: Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Stars, Texas Rangers. I can go on, but if this was the Dallas Cowboys, he would be on family leave. I'll just leave it at that.
That's a good point. Okay. All right, JR Boxing. Shadeur gets first
Yeah.
team reps. When?
It'll be during training camp.
They're on that
At
right
some
now.
point well they're in mini camp.
Yeah,
Training camp. Yeah, this mini camp. Training camp
But mini
starts.
camp is mandatory though.
Yeah, it's mandatory mini camp, but it's only for 3 days this week. And then they off the rest of the
right.
week to, whatever, weight lift, watch film, whatever they want to do. But it's essentially they got 3 days of mini camp. Now during training camp, when they're there, they usually fly the team somewhere like the Cowboys. They fly away to do training camp. But the
Okay.
Cowboys do mini camp at the Star. So when they go to training camp, the Cleveland Browns, that's when I think they'll whatever the team will have whatever pecking order of how they want the quarterbacks lined up. And I think Shadeur will probably come in. He'll probably be at the number two, slotted at the number two spot. And
All
it'll
right,
probably
DC.
be Joe Flacco in front
All right,
at
DC.
number one.
Shadeur gets his first team reps when?
I'm going to say it probably is going to be in the training camp, and I think he's going to get it. Um, Probably not right as it starts because Jr. and Wild Dog, like, aren't they playing like the Panthers or some other folks? They have those like their practices, but they're kind of like a game.
Yeah, the
I think they got
inner squad
right.
practices.
I think they got a
Yeah.
couple of like the Minnesota Vikings. I think they're doing it in the squad with or something like that. I
Yeah,
think put it like this, Harry. This is where I'm looking to because it's folks going to be trying to fight to make that team. I'm thinking probably around that second week or third week. I think that if Shadeur can come in and just drop a dime on somebody, then that's going to seal his deal. as far as being on the team. So I think he gets it, but it probably will be second week
So
training camp.
have y'all thought about this? I'll leave y'all with this. Have y'all thought about this? These same guys that are trying to make the team, he's putting the ball in places where they can catch it. These are the guys that some are saying are going to be working with car rental places and be working at Walmart, greeters at Walmart in a few months.
Like Kurt Warner?
If he's able to put the ball in those places for these guys who are not making this team, what more do you think he's going to do for guys that are on the team that are so much better than the guys that are not going to be on this team, are going to be selling car insurance?
I'm with you, Harry. Look,
isn't the argument going that the argument doesn't go in that way also?
I'm with you. I don't see a massive regression. I don't see that. You either steady the ship or you excel.
Right. Unless somebody want to sabotage where he's throwing the right passes to the right places. And these hungry guys, let me just set this up real quick. These hungry guys, they're trying to make the team. So they're like, yo, I got to catch this ball. If Shedeur puts it where it got to be, I'm going to catch it. But these guys that don't have no dig in the game, somebody tells them, hey, look, if the ball's there, drop it. You feel me? If these guys start to drop the ball, maybe it can go in that direction as well, but it looks like it should be better. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Inadvertently, there was the ball that went off their hands. But again, like you said, these cats are hungry, and if they're undrafted free agents and you're doing something squirrely, there's 31 other camps. There's 31 other teams. That's the benefit of being an undrafted free agent.
Well, I know. So, but if you're hungry, you have an incentive to catch the ball.
Yes, understood.
If you're not hungry, then you got a few oops.
Yeah.
Y'all see where I'm going with this? You got a few oopses to try to make somebody look bad.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then, but so far anything that I've seen on the film has been inadvertent. So, and then there was a question in the chat. I think it was Peter, an investor. Like, what's the difference between working with 1s, 2s, and 3s? Because you're going into it. What's it like? The guys he's throwing to as the 3s. The difference is when you're getting reps with the first and second team, is you're establishing chemistry in a relationship. If you don't get that opportunity, then you really don't get the opportunity to create that bond and chemistry at all on any level. That's the difference.
And you got to have that because eventually, if you're going to play in a real game situation, you need to have that chemistry for that. You need to already have that established. So, all right, let's get up out of here. We've done it again. So, more conversations are coming. I hope we can get to college football one of these days. Lord have mercy. The NFL is dominating the lives. The NFL is dominating the conversation. Hopefully, soon we'll be able to have some college football conversations. But final thoughts. Let's go ahead and start with JR Boxing.
Nah, man. Hey, my final thought for it all, man, is Shedeur gonna get his opportunity to prove to himself. I don't think he needs to prove anybody else. This is more so just prove to himself. He's gonna get his opportunity to prove to himself. If anything, correlation with the Cleveland Browns, they're trying to still figure out a quarterback narrative. So they played 5 last year. Who's to say they won't play all 4 this year? But hopefully Shedeur is the answer to whatever they're trying to pull that organization towards. But the Cleveland Browns will be the Cleveland Browns, that's for sure.
Wild Dog. Well, I'm gonna give you the last thoughts, Wild Dog. Hold on, let DC go. You ain't been here for a while. I'm gonna give you more time. DC, final thoughts.
First, JR's takes are trash. The second is something.
Don't start that. Won't be none.
Goodness.
I'm running out the door shooting back at you.
Both of y'all are military and both of y'all are retired. So don't start that. Won't be none. Okay.
Yes.
I got the grenade. Don't worry, Heavy. I got the grenades.
So check this out. I actually think that Stefanski gets fired at the end of this year.
I think he gets fired mid-season.
And this is I do think that team has some shaking, but I do think that Shadeur should get some meaningful snaps. The only thing I'm gonna say is that my concern is that, again, Wild Dog mentions the politics. You can never count that out. That where somebody is forced to play somebody over somebody else. So I think that I'm looking forward to seeing Shadeur do great things. And I don't hate Shadeur. I just want to see. I just don't like the Browns. Being honest with you, that's it.
All right, Wild Dog, you got the mic.
And as a Steelers fan, I hate the Browns, and I don't mix my words. And the fact that they're a quarterback graveyard, I hate that our beloved Shedeur Sanders is there. But again, it's an opportunity. He's under the spotlight. He's doing his thing. And the film, all the films, plural, with all the press is there, does not lie. Regardless of whatever narrative or this and that, what you put on tape is on tape. Okay? So moving forward, I just ask again, I know we prayed, but just ongoing prayers, ongoing positive thoughts and energy. The kingdom of God is without you and within you. The journey starts and the long journey is within. So within yourself in your quiet time, please reflect on Coach Prime. Okay? And when it comes to Shedeur, he's going to be all right. One way or another, whether it's a first-year turnaround or the 7-year turnaround, as long as you have the opportunity to turn up and show out, that's all it takes. So when we all voted, we have our debates, but when it boiled down to it, Harry got us to boil down to it. Yeah, we could see Shedeur taking the team to a winning the Super Bowl championship. Okay, so that's what we're all on. In between the nuances, it is what it is, and again, I would lean on the legendary Cleveland Brown, Bernie Kosar. Just keep that in check, with your emotions, the data, and the film. What did Bernie Kosar say? Right? He's got the best interests of professionals. He got the best interests of his team, and the man knows what he's talking about. So I would not dismiss that. Oh, it's just some old crusty go. No, do not dismiss Bernie Kosar. Do not take it with a grain of salt. Take that as something, very, very serious, and that, like Harry said, coming towards the second half or the last quarter of the season, it's going to be all Shedeur if he's still with the Browns. But personally, I hate the Browns. I'd rather see him traded and be grinding and making his way with a better suited organization. Like Coach Prime, that was Coach Prime's prayer in the first place. Thank you, Harry.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. I do appreciate it. Surfer Boy 3000 said, great show, Harry. I think he said he thinks CU is a thing of the past. I did warn us about this. I did say once those Louis boys leave, it's going to be a graveyard over there.
We haven't even talked about the Jaguar. We had really a whole bunch of time talking about a little bit of time talking about Hunter, but not even Jimmy Horn, not Wester, and not even Weaver. Weaver's still active. I'm like, don't forget about Weaver over there.
Hey, Harry almost got me. He posted something with Peggy. I was like, oh, Lord, Peggy ain't passed this. But then I was like, he celebrated. I didn't know what was up with that. I was like, oh, thank God. She got to a bowl game.
It was the emergency button. Don't press the emergency button, Harry. Be careful. Don't press the emergency button, dog.
No, when it was a long post, right? Because I don't write those things. I just grab them off Twitter and I post them, right? But it was a long post. So when you start reading, it was so long. You start reading it, you thinking, "Oh Lord, is this where is
it's
this?"
Like an obituary. I was waiting to see she be behind 12 grandkids and all
it's
kinds
like,
of stuff.
It's like Peggy's memorial or something. I'm like, hey man,
I know. And DC,
that's too funny.
You ain't the only one, because somebody put it there. It was like, oh Lord, did she die?
Shoot. Not yet, Peggy. Not yet, dog.
People are so ready to say RIP. Like, come on, Peggy is still holding on. Stop playing.
I was waiting to see she finally with her twin. I was waiting to see something like that.
Oh man,
y'all need
your help is well. Blessings to Miss Peggy.
So people, I'm telling you, those long posts, anything about Peggy got to be short. It was like, oh, Pecky's doing something. She's at a radio interview, and that's it. Okay, don't be like this long post. People gonna be like, oh Lord, what is going on with Peggy? Nah, but Peggy's good. Hey man, look, I don't know if I don't think anyone around here likes the Browns. Okay, I mean that's just it. The Browns. I feel like this should have handled, and this should be handling this Shedeur situation like some G's. Just recognize it. Let it be what it is. Let people know that you know that we know what you know. Just handle it like a mature organization, right? You've had this before. Johnny Manziel is like a Shedeur, but Shedeur has more aunties. Okay, they're not handling this stuff right. It's a terrible organization. I'm sorry, all the Browns fans, but nobody cares about the Browns. Not over here. Okay? We're just here because Shedeur's here. That's it. We can't wait till he leaves. That's it. That's all I got.
I mean, but hey, you're right. Okay. I ain't gonna be checking in no Browns game if 12 ain't out there. I ain't gonna be watching.
Like, if you're not playing Shedeur, nobody cares. Okay, that's just it. Nobody cares. All right, to watch the Browns game, if you got Flacco or Pickett out there throwing picks, like stop playing with us, okay? And Dylan Gabriel, mini me, are you kidding me?
They'll spend most of the game flashing on. Oh, there we got some more Shedeur aunties over here.
Right
on the 40-yard line. The Browns are being destroyed by the Steelers 48-0. Look.
DC, the scoreboard is gonna be 100-0, and the camera's gonna be on Shedeur. Like just keep the camera.
That's
camera.
Right. And that's right. Let's pan over here and watch the see you auntie's cabbage patch again.
Yo,
DC, you something else, man. They gonna come after you hard. They are gonna come after you.
Yo, the director's gonna be like, "Yo, this game is trash. Keep the camera on Shedeur."
Oh my gosh, DC, you so best, man. Shout out to the CU Aunties, man. They doing their thing, man. They supporting young black men like how they should. So I appreciate that, man. Need that.
This game is trash. Sure. Just keep the camera on the Shedeur fans, okay? Make them happy. This game is done in the first quarter. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, let's get up out of here. Let me go.
All right, man.
Hey, man, thank y'all for coming on. I'll see y'all on the next show. I'm out. Peace out. Whew.